My bad, everybody. My DoorDash order decided to get delivered right in the middle as soon as we hit play. So it wouldn't be a show without Elvira being Elvira. But greetings, everyone. I am so happy to have you all here tonight. We are going to have a very fruitful conversation with a group of men who are highly intelligent, who has very great perspectives and mindsets. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome them on in. I'm going to actually um, once I bring them up, I'm going to get to the comments and say hi to everyone who has spoken in the comments so far. So we have Brother Devin.
Greetings, greetings.
Greetings, Brother Xavier. And
Okay.
Brother Elijah. How are you,
Yeah,
fellas?
Pleasure to be here.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you all coming on and being open to chat amongst, the collective on a live. Some people get a little intimidated with the live, but you brothers did very well during your interview. So
Absolutely.
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Very good.
Um, Getting to the comments. Ooh, I don't like this setting. Makes them
I don't
look
know why my
big.
sound always doing that. Don't worry.
Let's go. There we go. So hey, John Smith, thank you for being a moderator on the channel and also getting in there and asking everyone to like the video, share, subscribe, leave a comment, support, and don't forget about becoming a member and supporting my online brand Growing with Legend. We have body butters, body serums, body scrubs for men and women. So go on over there and check it out. It smells good. And if you little bit on the fence about purchasing, get you a little mini. They come in this size right here. Get you a little mini, test it out, see how you like it, and then you can come and get you a big bottle that looks like this. Okay. Now we ain't got labels yet. I mean, we got labels. We ain't got labels on these products, but when we do, when you get yours, it'll be a label on there. Okay. But nonetheless, shout out to you, John, for thank you for shouting out the business and all of the support. What's up, Devin? Thank you for putting your
Yeah.
comment
I
in.
gotta
We
get like you,
appreciate
Devin.
you. Nevette Thaw, thank you. They said I should be interesting. I'm waiting. So they're interested in knowing
Yeah.
more.
The wait is over.
Um, Devin wants to know where y'all tuning in from. I want to know too. Where's
Yeah.
everyone from? Where are you from, Devin?
Oh, I'm in Baltimore with a D. Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Elijah,
I'm from Philly. Philly.
you in Philly? Well, from
hmm
Philly. I don't know
Well,
where
I'm
you
from New
at.
York.
I don't.
Uh,
Ooh.
I'm
What
from New
borough?
York,
I'm so weak.
but in Philly.
Yes, and Xavier.
I'm from Virginia.
Virginia, nice.
Yes,
Shout
now.
out to you, brother Christopher Spain. Thank you for being here. Christina says she's from Florida. Christina came on the show yesterday and gave me a beautiful, like she was just asking me very beautiful questions. She's a new sister in holiness.
Oh
So
yeah.
she's still finding her way and learning her way. So y'all keep Christina in your prayers. Shout out to you, Christina. Thank you for coming
Greetings,
on
sister, and welcome.
tonight.
W.
Yeah.
Christina. Yes.
Helena. Hey, Helena. She said from
Okay.
Greensboro, North
Greensboro,
Carolina.
North Carolina in the house.
Yes. Oh, I'm from Raleigh, you all. I'm from North Carolina
Okay.
as well. Greetings, brother AP. Greetings, sister Jolene from
Okay, from
Belize.
Belize. Yeah.
Okay.
Sunny Belize.
Okay. Okay.
She says, greetings,
Okay.
sister Virginia. She said, a great listen while I work out.
Okay. Got us in the headset.
All right, man.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Patrick T. He said,
Singing.
all I want to know is who's singing tonight. Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
I got you on the ad libs. I don't know about the singing though.
Oh, that's
There
Patrick
we
T.
go.
Oh yeah. What's up, Patrick T?
You know, Xavier, you know Patrick T.
Oh yeah, I know Pat.
Brother AP
Okay.
is coming
Cape
in
Town
from
in the building.
Cape
Cape Town.
Town.
Come on.
Yeah.
How you
Helena
doing?
says this is about to be good.
Oh yeah.
And Sister Nikisha from Canada.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
girl.
Canada.
Greetings,
Awesome
greetings.
interview with Sister Jakira. You both of you guys' skin was glowing. You guys did it. I loved it. I left like 3 comments, girl. It was good. It was good.
Love that support. Love it.
Very good.
Elijah, they said let them hear something before we get
Uh-oh.
started. See, he done got it
Well,
started.
everybody bow your heads. No, I'm just playing.
I get him on the.
You You gonna sing? No. Okay.
Okay, I'll sing for you.
Yeah,
What do you wanna
sing a little something.
Um, nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. Draw us nearer, 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 blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side. That's all I remember.
Nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Woo.
Sister Virginia said, Philly, Philly,
Philly.
Philly is where I am from. Y'all remember that song? I know, but it's a little, I don't know,
Yes.
telling my age. Anyway, Virginia, I knew what song you was talking about, girl. And then we have Brother Heave
Okay, my man in
from
Persia.
Persia,
Hey,
Iran, living in the
How are
UK.
what
you?
time is it over there? It's like 11 o'clock over there.
Shout
Oh,
out to you for
wow. We
joining.
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Hmm.
Yes. She gave you hand claps, Elijah. So she
Yeah.
enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. All right, y'all, let's get into the show. So what I would
Yes.
like for each of you to do is you know, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourselves to the collective. Some people may have not seen your individual interviews. Each one of you have an interview up here. So I would love for one by one you introduce yourself and who you are, a little fun fact about you, and then we can get into like the real questions.
Hmm.
Sure. So,
There's.
you want me to kick it off?
Sure.
Okay. Yes. Greetings. My name is Devin Trent. Some people call me Brother Devin. Some people call me Brother Trent. I got two first names. I'm from Baltimore. I'm founder of a program called The Proactive Parent. We also have a channel on YouTube. I'm the oldest of three sons, and I'm just here to spread peace, love, knowledge, wisdom, and community over competition. I think what Sister Elvira is doing here, bring the community together to have these discussions out in the open is important
Mhm.
because people wasn't having these discussions 30, 40 years ago. It's important to
No.
have these discussions out in the open where everybody can learn. So yeah, I'm here to learn and contribute.
Amen. Thank you for sharing.
And
All right, Elijah, you can go next.
yeah, well, my name is Elijah. I originally from New York City. Like I mentioned, I currently live in Philadelphia. Most of the people that have supported me through the years know me for my music. I've been singing since I was a little boy, and on top of my music, also like Devin said, just using the life I have in this earth to try to put some positivity out there, as well as raise awareness about the things that we like to throw covers on top of, because I've always
Mhm.
believed growing up that the longest lasting hurt generationally have continued and persisted because people were too cowardly to talk about the things we need to talk about. And I,
Hmm.
for one, want to be part of the wave of people brave enough to do so. So I'm just happy to be
Yeah.
here, happy to be able to have the impact I do from the people that have joined your live here. And I'm excited to talk about these things with you guys. So.
Nice. Thank you, brother. I mean, Xavier, how are you?
You gotta say Elijah again. Nah,
Uh-huh.
no, I'm doing good. My name's Xavier. I'm from Virginia, and I love these type of conversations. To be honest, I've been doing sales for about 3 years. So that's kind of when I started my journey on like communication, neuroscience, behavioral psychology, things like that. And I just like always loved like the reading of it and just learning. Like, and I'm a nerd, just like I kind of told you last time we had a conversation. So I'm glad to listen and learn from these men as well, and contribute what I do know. And yeah, and just
Amen.
go from there. So
Yes. So let's kick it off with you, Xavier. What does emotional intelligence mean to you personally?
like I said last time, personally, emotional intelligence, like I said, is multifaceted. Emotional intelligence first starts with yourself as well, understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, understanding your own standards and boundaries, and be able to actually identify certain emotions within oneself. And then after you can master the emotional intelligence, starting with yourself, I do feel like it branches out the definition into starting to understand other people's emotions, their body language, their tonality, their cadence, all different type of observations that can allow you to identify people's emotions. I'll allow you to empathize with them, and then not only say that you understand, but to actually demonstrate understanding by spitting out their world back to them. And all of that, to be honest, is a part of emotional intelligence. And also, just understanding that not everything is personal, right? And understanding uh, below, like deeper than just the surface level. A lot of people, they might look at things just, one way. They might look at it just for the surface level. But I think when somebody does have emotional intelligence, then they're able to see the deeper and the bigger picture. And that also, inherently allows them not to be able to take things so personal, allows them just to be able to regulate their own emotions better. So I think emotional intelligence kind of fits within that box.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's an in-depth response. What do you say, Devin?
Yeah, emotional intelligence, like Xavier said, is multifaceted. I try to boil it down to um, the lowest common denominator. I think emotional intelligence is being able to do the wise thing even when emotions are strong.
Mm.
What is the wise thing? It all depends on the scenario. But a lot of times, people allow their emotions to make them do dumb stuff. But if your emotions can, if you can have strong emotions and still do something smart, that's
Mm.
emotional intelligence.
Mhm.
That's how I would define it.
Yeah, I agree. That's excellently put. I don't know if you're passing this to me, sis, but I agree with you, Dev and Xavier, um, that it. I've realized it takes a lot of humility. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It takes an extreme level of humility to be willing to observe those things about yourself, whether you do that well or not. You know what I'm saying? Because just like how you can become an academic, you can become emotionally intelligent
exactly.
by starting off with humility. You know what I'm saying? Every time I run into anyone, whether it's myself or another person, that just never could get past the first stage, it's always because they're just not humble enough to see themselves as maybe the culprit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's how I've always noticed that is that the people with any form of emotional intelligence are the people that are humble enough to become what they need to become to overcome anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with both you gentlemen for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do nothing dumb.
Testify to among a lot of young men, it was always the go-to choice to show forth yourself as um, super risky and not like you don't care about what could happen. You just faced it head on. And so I was never like that because I'm like, yeah, you might look brave, but I'm gonna live on. You
Exactly.
ain't. See,
Exactly.
when
Yeah.
they're cussing me out on the street and I say I'm sorry to them, even if they're wrong, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning. You may not. So
Right.
I don't understand why risking your life is so far in the back of your mind versus I'm gonna show them. You see the trade off?
Yeah.
Like
You're not
Yeah.
scared. You're smart.
yeah,
Right.
like I
Right.
just let me. I've always said this growing up in school. Let me be the coward. Let me be a punk.
Yes.
But I'm
Yeah.
going to live to see tomorrow if I can help it.
Yeah,
So that's
Not
why
the
yeah,
I
bum.
agree.
You
yeah.
not
That's
not the bum. You not
No,
that.
no, punk,
Oh, punk. I'm
PUNK.
about to say
Oh
wrong
no, no,
word.
no, no.
Yeah,
Because
punk. Yes, yes,
among
yes,
I'm not
yes.
gonna digress, real. I'm gonna be done. But among males, you're a punk if you don't make stupid decisions to
You
prove
right, right,
yourself
right, right.
great.
Exactly. I
So
understand now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
Xavier, what
yeah,
does
I was about to say I'll definitely add something to that. Oh, what were you about to say? Go ahead. Were you about to
no,
say
I
that?
was just gonna reiterate the question, but go ahead and add to that if you would like.
Yeah, yeah. I know you said emotional intelligence personally and experiences and stuff like that, but I do want to talk about what Brother Trent said as well. That's actually a really good like case study though, is like road rage, for example. Because I feel like that would demonstrate, two separate people. You got person A that's emotional intelligent and person B that may not be emotional intelligent. Person B will get mad that the person cut him off and that the person is speeding or that the person is doing X, Y, and Z. Person A might be like, you know what, maybe they're trying to rush to the hospital. Maybe they're having an
Exactly.
emergency.
Exactly.
Maybe X, Y, and Z is
Exactly.
going on. It's just the ability to take yourself out of a situation and be able to look at it, from a bird's eye view and totally detach yourself from the situation and get yourself out of it. It's not about you. Like I know human nature. is for all of us to always look at things from our perspective and to really worry about ourselves first, right? For survival, learned behavior, environment, whatever the case may be. But I think true emotional intelligence is be able to detach from that. I actually just talked to one of my friends the other day, and she was just talking about pretty much, certain things, and I was listening, and I'm just like, hey, try not to take things personal, and maybe look at it from a neutral perspective. And I think looking at things from a neutral perspective will save a lot of people a lot of stress and heartache, right? Because it's like what we'll find out is that people are like us, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people, I say, if you want to learn somebody else, then learn yourself, right? And what I mean by that is if you are taking offense to something, right? If a situation happened, you're like, oh my gosh, this person running late, this person doing this person doing that, X, Y, Z, they just caught off the plans at the last second, yada, 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 right? I'm like, if you want to understand them, then first think about if you was in that situation and have you been in that situation and what are some things that could have possibly happened with you? Because we tend to give people less grace than we give ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So in terms of criticism, we'll rather criticize somebody else harder, but we could do the same thing or have the same struggle, but criticize ourselves less. And that's
Yeah.
human nature, though. That to be more lenient on us, we make excuses for ourselves. We're like, well, I only did this because of that. You got to understand the context, but you didn't care about the context for the other person. So I think
Exactly.
that just the car example and road rage is a really good case study to where you could actually start to see the difference between somebody who might be emotionally intelligent and somebody who might not be.
Amen.
Yeah,
Good
well said.
stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. They said you all
Absolutely
gave
well
great
said.
answers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely well said.
Amen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Devin, forgive me.
Hope not on your
Yeah, don't be
toe.
dumb.
Christina says, unfortunately, I find it more common in by what that mean?
People
The
of
black.
color.
People, oh, the black community to
Well, that's
act the
already.
to act the food to prove you're bold. Yeah, to act the food
Mhm.
to prove you're bold.
Especially in the
Yeah.
hood. Lord.
hmm
Anyway.
Yeah.
Greetings, Shanice.
Greetings.
Nikisha.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Take
Very
yourself
well
out.
said.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then Christina's here again.
How do you work not to take it personal when it comes to family crossing boundaries? Yeah, that definitely take work. And
Mhm.
like Xavier said, sometimes you just gotta be neutral
Mhm.
and just walk away because you can't control what they do. You can only control what you do.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
control yourself and walk away. You
Right.
don't put up
Mhm.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good stuff,
Agreed.
brothers. I'm enjoying this so far. We only 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
A long way to
Yeah.
go.
Excellent. Yeah.
So, with that being said, you gave a great example, and each of you gave your own, like expertise on what you thought about it. Would you say that emotional intelligence is more about controlling your emotions or understanding your emotions, or both?
I say both to start off. I think that you, like Xavier was saying, once you learn yourself, you start to understand the why. And sometimes you may need assistance. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that often don't want to understand themselves as well, right? So they kind of get trapped in that space. Like you can't move any further than you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like even spiritually
Mhm.
speaking, right? There's certain things that it's so real. You can't really drop something if you don't want to in your heart
Mhm.
of hearts. You know what I'm saying? So I think um when you understand like the intelligence aspect is important because but that takes I think that takes time. I think that takes more time. I think it's easier to understand first how you feel about things than how you understand things. Can you guys help me kind
Mhm.
of open that up?
Yeah.
Or do you
Understand
think
how
it's
you
the
feel
reverse?
about it.
Do you think you
Now,
can understand, you know what I'm saying?
I heard somebody say that somebody was proving a point to them and they were showing
Mhm.
them that their way of thinking was inaccurate
Mhm.
and they fought against it because they felt like if I'm wrong about this, then what else am I wrong about?
Right.
They was
Right.
afraid of all this other stuff that they couldn't be
Yeah.
wrong about. So they
Yeah.
fought
Mhm.
against the truth. and they were like, I don't want to hear it, cause I might be wrong.
Mm.
And that was a big thing, that like he was afraid of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So understanding yourself, going to your point, understanding yourself and being able to call it out and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is me.
I think that's the first step. I think you have to be, I think you can't jump to like being analytical, you know what I'm saying, about
Mm.
anything if you truly haven't reckoned with how you are and why those things, why you feel the way you do about things or why you react to the way you do about things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. All right. So Elijah, I like what you said, right? About understanding the emotions versus controlling them. And I agree. I mean, I just don't think that anything in life can be controlled without understanding though, right? Like if you don't understand how
Mm-hmm.
a car works, then how are you going to be able to control the car? How are you going to be able to know the right amount to turn it if you don't understand how it works and how it fits together? And that takes experience, but to
Mhm.
understand your emotions comes first, right? And then you can control that which you understand. Like that's the only way that you could really do it, because if not, then you're just going to think, you're going to have the illusion that you're controlling your emotions, but you don't really know what you're controlling, right? That's why
Mhm.
people a lot of times
Right.
don't know if they're feeling the right way about something. Like they'll be in a situation where they're like, yo, I
Right.
felt like this person is crossing my boundary, but I really don't know like how to confront it, or I don't know if they were being rude. I don't know. Like they
Mhm.
just don't know. And it comes from not being able to understand what they're feeling. And then how can you control something you don't understand? If I don't know that what I'm feeling, I might, for example, I might think that what I'm feeling is anger, but what I'm feeling is envy, or what I'm feeling is jealousy,
Mm.
right? I
So
can't
yeah.
control it and check it until
Right.
I understand what it is. So I
So
do believe that you got to understand first. Go ahead.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So basically, like to simplify it from my brain, like having a sort of like glossary of understanding of the elements of emotional intelligence will then give you something to look back on to yourself
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and
and
I
properly
think it's
define. Is that what
yeah, I
you're
was about to say, I think it's even like simpler than just understanding emotional intelligence. I think it's more so understanding your personal emotions. You get what I'm saying?
right, right,
Because
right,
like
right, right.
emotional intelligence more so in terms of like just the umbrella of like emotional intelligence. But it's
Hmm.
like if you break it down, like what brother said, to the lowest common denominator, it's like, okay, like what am I feeling? Like what are
Yeah,
my emotions?
define
And
definitively.
depending
Yeah.
upon yeah, and then depending upon how you were raised, right? And the community you was in and the type of parents you had, right? Some people never had the opportunity to feel emotions. Some people
Mm-hmm.
would feel an emotion, and
Yeah.
then their parent would say, "You don't feel that way." What you
Right.
mean I don't feel that
Right.
way? Like I feel what I feel. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or you would
Yeah.
feel a type of way and they say, you shouldn't feel that way because Johnny down the street, this happened to him and he good. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, they have a
So
misconstrued.
yeah, so people grow up, not
Yeah.
understanding their emotions and not understanding things, and then
Yeah.
people wonder like, "Oh, you're so off the handle," or "You don't know how to
Mhm.
regulate yourself," or "You're so impulsive." But it's like the reason they can't control their emotions is because they
Right.
never had the chance or the space to understand them.
Mhm. That's very true. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
good point.
Very good point.
Mhm.
Greetings to you, Sister Softly Feminine. Thank you. A Brown says true
Yeah.
wise words. Y'all deep. I love it. I love it.
That's why therapy can be helpful too, because
Yes.
Yeah.
some people
People don't
don't
want to talk
have the
about that though.
luxury.
Yeah.
Wise parents is a gift to the earth because a
Yes.
lot of parents don't possess the ability to even they don't even know themselves any of those things. So it's just a constant ripple effect, But to have someone give you clear definition of what things are and what things mean is a good starting
Yes.
point for sure.
And brother
Yeah.
Devin talks about that too with his business as well, because honestly, a lot of parents they lack emotional intelligence. To be
Yeah,
honest,
big
you
time.
know, they do, and it affects you. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that for me, I think that what you just said, Elijah, about therapy is so important because it
Yeah,
gives you the why behind your
exactly.
actions. And sometimes I feel like, did I just waste my copay? because she's asking me questions and I feel like I'm doing all the work, but that's the point.
That's the point.
You know, so I think that was such a powerful point as well. For sure, for sure. Get back to the comments. Greetings, Sister A Brown. Greetings. I didn't even see you pop in. Hey, sis. Thank you. Can you guys like the video while you're here? Support the
get the likes
channel.
up.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Oh, peace and blessings, brother. Peaceology.
Hey, greetings, brother. Yeah.
Peace and blessings.
Yes. Okay. So here's is this a question or more like a statement?
Like a statement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How you was raised is true. Parents can either validate your emotions or not and try to tell you how to feel. And I really try my hardest not to do that.
Right.
I think I do that too good because my son be telling me how he feels. He be like, I don't want to talk right now. Okay. Okay. You know, all right, I step back, but we got boundaries. All right. So Sister Virginia says a question for you all. So anyone who wants to answer can go first.
Levels to it. I mean, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. It's like any skill. Is it like any skill?
Like levels?
I think it is levels to emotional intelligence. I think the base level is just primal. And let me think of a primal level of emotional intelligence, like tapping into how you feel, but not being emotionally intelligent enough to recognize how other people feel.
Okay. Yeah. That's I agree. I think with the levels, I think could you pull that question back up one more time?
Sure.
When you said, sis, Virginia, if I did something once or twice, does that mean I like emotional intelligence? Not necessarily, right? I mean, because we all know what is right and wrong, generally speaking. And does it make you inherently wicked to not always do the right thing all the time? No, right? We're human beings. We're tempted by not just extreme things, but simpler things, right? Like sometimes, I mean, I can speak for myself. I do love the light and love and kindness and cherries and stuff, but at the same time, yes, I do feel like backhanding people sometimes. Yes, I do feel like doing the tit for tat, or like you have those things in your soul because we're in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think, and I would consider myself fairly emotionally intelligent, but I just sometimes I have to battle between what I want to do and what is it worth. So sometimes I win that battle, sometimes I lose. So I think yeah, maybe there is a higher level of emotional intelligence, or maybe the wording that I would maybe phrase would be emotional discipline. You know what I'm saying? Where you have the discipline to always choose the better option as far as like how you analyzing things or how you decide to react, maybe.
Yeah.
I want to add something to that as well. I love, one thing I love about emotional intelligence, right, is that, since this is like an umbrella and it's so multifaceted and there's multiple different angles to it, then if you lack in one area, you can catch a rebound on the other, right? And what I mean by that is like, let's say there's a situation, because let me see what she said. Uh, yeah, she did something once or twice, right? So you can still exemplify like multiple, emotional intelligence when you did something wrong, because when you do something wrong, yes, you might have lacked the emotional regulation side of it, right? You might have done something impulsively. You might have, knew something was wrong, but your emotions got out of hand and it caused you to do an action you're not so proud of, right? But then you can still exercise emotional intelligence after the fact by being able to identify, oh, I did this. And this is and this is why I did it. This is the emotion I felt when I did it, and this is what came as the result of it. And then you can then begin to progress from there. So you're still exercising emotional intelligence even after you lacked it for that particular time. So
good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
I agree.
Kim Thomas says the following: what happens when you've been so used to dysfunction in relationships and cannot relate to what's normal and struggle to express true love?
So what happens? Yeah, just
Yeah.
like you said, you be uncomfortable around peace because you're so used to chaos.
Mm.
So expose yourself
Where am I
more
from?
to peace, and you'll become more comfortable with peace.
Mm.
You just get around it.
Good God.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Expand your
caught that.
comfort zone. People say get
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone. I don't agree with that. I think you should expand your comfort zone, and more stuff comes into your comfort zone. Not to step out of it, but expand it.
Mm.
Get around
Mm-hmm.
peace, and you start to get comfortable with peace.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's so real,
I'm
especially
shook.
like with relationships, with the, courting and everything, when you're so used to dysfunction and toxic, when you
Yeah.
finally get something that's peaceful, you making it toxic. You're making it dysfunction
Yes.
because you don't know how else to operate.
Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
so real.
I mean, you said it, Deb. Like, I mean, I want to say from, give a little testimony
Hmm.
that
Yes.
I know, and maybe this is not necessarily, maybe this is a form of dysfunction, but one of the things I personally have had to deal with growing up is feeling like a burden to people.
Mhm.
And yes, there have been people in my life that have made me feel like a burden or I'm annoying and to them. But there are people that have tried to show me you're not. I'm not too much. I'm not a lot. They're not going to ditch me after I give them a think piece of my passions, right? So I've had to learn that, and some of these relationships I made difficult because I'm so used to people treating me a certain type of way, and
Mhm.
these are people analyzing me a certain type of way and just discarding me. And until I learned not to frame everyone like that out the jump, and I'm still working on that, it has made me, well, rather, it has caused me to obtain beautiful relationships that have changed my life. So I was just willing to try hard to have what I want in relationships and not sabotage it myself because of what I've experienced. It takes a lot of hard work, but that's just a little testimony about what I've been through and what I can relate in a sense to what you said, for sure.
Yeah. Is you on mute, Elvira?
That was good, Elijah. Xavier, you want to add anything?
What was this? Let me see. Weapons when you've been used to dysfunctional relationships. Yeah, pretty much exactly what you guys said, right? As far as like, you know, sometimes comfort allows us to it alters our perspective. So, if you grew up in dysfunction, like believe it or not, like you, and people you, let me digress. Just because something is comfortable doesn't mean you have a love relationship with it, right? You can hate something about yourself even though it's comfortable, right? And we know that right now, spiritually speaking, you can have certain struggles that you might be comfortable in, but yet you hate it. And I think it's the same thing with trauma and everything like that. You could grow up in a dysfunctional household and you hate it. You hate everything about it. Like you hate it. You know it's unhealthy. You know everything about it. You do not like it whatsoever by any means. But at the same time, it was a comfort for you because that's all you knew. And as time went on, you begin to be comfortable with it. And as you become comfortable with it, then you begin to, that's what you know. But yet you hate it though. You hate it, but you're comfortable, which is a very dangerous combination. So, it makes sense that, if you are used to dysfunctional relationships, it'll kind of be hard to feel regular in a healthy relationship. And I can certify exactly what I'm saying because, for one, let's say you have somebody that's used to a dysfunctional environment, right? They hate that dysfunctional environment, but they're comfortable in it, right? When a healthy person comes along and they begin to have a healthy friendship or a healthy relationship, why do you think some people still say it's just something that don't feel right, right? Like it's unfamiliar to them, and yet they know that is right. They know that's how somebody's supposed to treat them. They know that's how it's supposed to be, but something about it just give them the ick. You know what I mean? And it's because it's outside of their comfort zone. They're not used to it. You know.
Yeah.
So
We got another question from the audience. When it comes to emotional intelligence, what challenges did you face and how did you overcome it?
I'll tell you a story. So I was at the market, right? In the dessert section, and a pretty young lady and her mom. They was over there in the dessert section, and we was over here looking at cinnamon pecan swirls and cheesecakes, and I looked up, and me and the girl caught eyes, and I go back and looking at the desserts and stuff, and like this happened 2 or 3 times, and then her mother walked off somewhere, so it's just me and her over there looking at cinnamon pecan swirls, and because my emotions, I did something that I should not have done.
Mm.
We exchanged numbers,
Mhm.
and on my way home, I was thinking about it. I had time to reflect. I had time to reflect on the dumb actions that I took
Mhm.
because of my strong emotions.
Mhm.
And so when I got home, I told her, like, I ain't got no business dealing with you. I told her, like, I'm not going to waste your time for the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
This is going nowhere. And I told her that, and she was like, thank you for not wasting my time and
Wasting time.
telling me straight up. But yeah, just like how we talked about earlier, you can have a moment of weakness where you behave not emotionally intelligent, but when you
Yeah.
got time to reflect, now you can come back and do something emotionally intelligent.
Yeah,
Right.
that was good.
Well
That was
said.
good.
I had a similar experience, but I ain't gonna share that testimony. No, I ditto, man. I mean, kudos to you because guy to guy, that's a victory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
that's a W.
that's a W in this generation, huh? But no,
A win is a win.
I would I would say, the, a lot of times, for me when I'm at work, for example, and I feel like I've been microaggressed. Sometimes it can be in the corporate space. It's like, and then they're kind of playing in your face. So when
Yeah.
I have those experiences, a lot of times something just goes off in my head that's like, they don't know, they don't hold the same values as you. There's a little voice in my head.
Right.
There's a voice in my head that reminds me of the things I need to know to guide me away from the nonsense of the moment. That's just personally. And sometimes the voice go quiet on me and just throw me off a cliff. But sometimes it really does, like especially when I'm in an aggressive situation. A lot of times, like Xavier was saying, I stop myself. I'm like, wait, like you're hurting, and if you were in my shoes, you would you would be hurt by what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So and I zoom out sometimes, and I'm like, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna see
Mhm.
Jesus, I zoom out as far as I can. And a lot
Yeah.
of times in those particular instances I'm able to, like, just pass by it. You know what I'm saying? But it is
Mhm.
very difficult to kind of be honest, Miss Christina. I said Miss. I'm sorry, Christina. But it's very difficult to. It's easy to hold the intelligence, but it's hard to apply it when you come up to those moments. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
Mhm.
and for me is what I'm saying. A lot of times, uh, that is why I agree wholeheartedly that you apply better what you remember. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Mhm.
no, if you go to church once a year and club every other Sunday, you're probably not going to remember much from church. You know what I'm saying? Just make an
Right.
example. So it's
Yeah.
like when you facing those experiences, your reactions are going to be less likely to be like Jesus because the stuff in your subconscious isn't spiritual, just to make an example. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like for
Mhm.
me, that's why I count it a blessing that I am able to think about the spiritual side, about like, okay, if this person walked up to Jesus, how would he treat them? You know what I'm saying? That comes to my
Mhm.
mind because I'm a church boy. I'm always in church. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of make it not so deep, but
Yeah.
hope that made sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. And
Yeah.
I would say for me, I don't know what it is about me, but I always have like relationships in my world. There's
Mm,
always at some point contention.
mm,
And when the contention comes, I used to lack emotional intelligence and I would just go so far left to
mm,
the point where sometimes the relationship isn't savageable, or you can't savage the relationship because you don't went so far left. And I will say recently, coming into holiness, there has been situations with my sisters in Christ where we had a little bit of contention, and it's been maybe I say like 3-4, and all it was misunderstanding. So when I was able to, like you just said, Elijah, to zoom out and keep my tone right, keep my body language right. And even if I'm just on the phone, I'm checking my body language, I'm checking my tone, I'm smiling while I'm talking so that it's communicated through body that I want us to handle this. I want us to get to the root of it so we can just pull this weed up and then throw it out, and do away with it. So I think that how did I overcome it was just having patience, and more so with myself, in order to zoom out and think about what could this sister, if this sister says, because some sisters have said some things to me and I'm like, ooh, girl, okay, but
fine,
but I gotta love them through it,
Yes, you do.
and I still come
Right.
back with, and you're so right, Elijah. There are times where I want to be petty. There are times where I want to be like, oh, that's what you want to say. Well, I can say, because like that.
Right.
But then
That's
I'm
real
like,
talk.
this is my sister. This is my sister in Christ. And that changed my perspective. And that's
Exactly.
how I increased my emotional intelligence. Anything you want to say, Xavier?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing that well, first I want to say the first thing in response to what you said. First thing is like the understanding. I think that almost every altercation really boils down to people being misunderstood and one person trying to say their point at the same time that the other person's trying to say their point, and you got two people trying to push their perspectives, but no one person wants to take the back seat and actually just listen, understand, and then yada yada blah blah blah. Right. But the other thing that I was gonna say was like a challenge that I've had was handling altercations.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Xavier,
Hopefully his
We
phone
can't
goes.
hear you if you're still talking.
you went away. The screen went black. Did you get your charger for your computer or your
Do you think his
phone?
device died?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm gonna take them down, and I can see you
All
in the
right.
background, brother, if your camera comes back up.
We
We
can
have a lot
save.
of
Do you want to write to save that point so if in case he comes back?
yeah,
We
because
got a lot of comments.
yeah, we got a lot of engagement. I love it.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's what's
glad to
up.
have you all
You are
here.
supporting you guys. They said great answers, brother. I agree. One sister said, one brother. Hey
Okay, what's up, brother?
Jonathan.
Hey,
That's
bro.
Jonathan. Hey
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Supporter of the year, bro.
Yes, he is.
Hey,
Okay,
mic
We
drop.
Xavier,
appreciate you.
go
All right,
ahead where
there we
you
go.
left off.
Somebody called me. It messed up again.
Oh,
Oh, you
Uh,
do not disturb. Did you put your phone on do not
I
disturb?
did not. That's
DND.
on me. That's see, look,
do y'all
emotional
hear
intelligence.
audio? I don't hear audio.
Call my J, right?
Yeah, we hear
But
audio.
y'all can hear me though, right?
I don't hear
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
audio.
hear you.
Yeah, y'all. So we
Elijah, you
got
can't hear him?
so 2 out of 3.
I can hear
Okay,
everybody else. Could
that's
could you
crazy.
double check? Can you maybe turn your mic off and on again?
Let me
Let me
try.
see. All right, what about now? You still can't hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear
y'all
you.
could. Maybe. Do you think I should leave and come back in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
he
me
probably
take
gotta
you
leave and come
down.
back. Yeah, let him leave and come back. I'll wait to speak until he come back.
What about now?
There you go. Can you hear me now, bro?
Elijah.
I'm here. Go ahead. I'm a leave and come
Can
back in.
y'all hear him?
Oh, okay.
I hear everybody.
Nah, I can't hear y'all. Hey, that's so what?
Hold on. I
No
hear
way.
everybody.
No way.
Oh, what? I
Can
can't
you
hear
hear me,
y'all.
Xavier? I guess you
No,
can't
I
hear me.
can't. I can't hear y'all at all. That's crazy.
I
Yo,
can
what?
hear Devin. Devin,
I
you
can
can
hear
hear
That's
me?
you.
crazy. Yo, that's
Man, y'all must
crazy
got
how
some
that works.
iPhones. Y'all need to come on over to Android. Come on over to the dark side, to the green side.
This is crazy. The devil be busy, man.
But what they talking about in the comments though?
Oh, they were just giving props. Devin said greetings.
Oh, Denver.
Sister Virginia said the
Once
shade,
a
ha ha
year.
ha, once a year. Who said that? Which one of you brothers said once a year?
I guess got being petty every now and then. Allow yourself
Oh,
to be petty
okay.
once a year, maybe.
Okay. They
Greetings,
said,
greetings, greetings.
this is what the sister said.
Always have to
Okay,
keep an
we
eye to
got them
sustain
both
it.
back. All right, brothers.
All right.
What we working with? Can you hear
All right,
us?
can you hear me,
Yeah,
brother
can you hear
Elijah?
me?
Yes,
You
I'm
good?
I
back.
hear you.
All
I hear
right,
you.
cool, cool,
I
cool.
can hear
Awesome.
you.
Good.
Now one thing I was gonna say was like handling altercations and stuff like that, like especially with men, right? That's one thing that has been really rough because like the way I grew up, like you kind of live by certain rules and you used to doing like carrying things a certain way, but it's like you kind of got to make adjustments to that, coming in the way and stuff like that. So I feel like that also attests to like emotional intelligence as well, because you got to be able to regulate your own emotions and be able to like de-escalate situations without resort back to how you used to handle certain situations. And that's something that I had to overcome, and it's still hard. Like I ain't gonna sit here. I'm not the type to say, if somebody do something to me, I ain't go retaliate. I'm not there yet, from like just
Mhm.
being honest, like I'm gonna be real. Like somebody spit in my face, like, yeah, like I don't know, like hey. But but that's a part of
Right,
emotional intelligence though. Like learn and again, that's the other leg of emotional intelligence is understanding yourself, understanding your weaknesses and
right.
strengths. Cause just like I said with sis last time we was on a one-on-one type of panel, I told her that, somebody that's not emotional intelligent, what you'll notice about them is that they're constantly putting themselves in situations, the same situations, knowing the result, you know,
Mm,
and they know it's not good for them, but yet they continue to put themselves in situations and they keep getting the same result, right?
Hmm.
Like they
Oh,
understand that it could be that, but they still do it. So it's like, do you know yourself? Do you know your boundaries? Do you know your standards? Do you know your strengths? And do you know your weaknesses? And if you do know your strengths and weaknesses, then that's where honesty comes with yourself. Is yes, I know that it's my weakness, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So
Yeah,
all of that boils
what's
down to emotional
up?
intelligence, man.
that's good. You kind of cooked me a little bit. Wait a minute now.
Come on, fire.
Cooked everybody, cooked myself too. Look, don't worry. Look,
So
I
that
might talk
leads,
it, but yeah, like
yeah,
it's true. You gotta look at yourself too. So
Mhm.
absolutely. That's the first person, which leads me into my next question for you all. What are some of the signs? And I want each of you to kind of give some signs. So if you hear someone mention one characteristic, find if you can find another one. But what are some of the signs that a person lacks emotional intelligence? We kind of spoke on this a little bit
Yeah.
indirectly,
yeah, we
but if
did.
we can just give some direct answers as to what those signs look like, and anyone can go first.
Being short tempered,
Hmm.
being a high head, being a loose cannon,
Hmm.
unpredictable. I don't know
Yeah.
if I went too far, but those are
No,
some things
that's
that come to
good.
mind.
How many? Yeah.
I know somebody who is emotionally not intelligent and they behave like that.
Yeah. How do you? Oh,
yeah,
How many did you want, sis?
It don't matter. You could just you can just
he was giving
give me your
brother
top
was giving
three. Give me your
How
top
brother was
much
giving
three.
extreme y'all
synonyms.
give you?
All right.
Brother was
Well,
getting synonyms. He was like,
I I would say egotistical is the first thing that came to my
Mhm,
mind.
okay.
Proud, very, very proud, not in a good way.
mhm,
Arrogant,
mhm.
high minded, uh like yeah, just that these are the people. Mm-mm, you
That
go ahead.
bubble, like just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bubble of
Just
people, like just
yeah.
throw them all inside of a bubble. Yeah,
That's
Mix them
negative.
up. Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I would say signs would be easily offended, always offended.
Hmm.
And then I would say always complaining, always complaining.
Hmm.
You can easily identify somebody that's not emotional intelligent by the way they complain, right? And the things that they complain about is out of their control.
Mm.
You know,
Mhm.
uh, just like for example, I'll share a quick story. So I run a financial practice, right? And I manage athletes' money. That's kind of like my target market or whatnot, right? Um, so here's the thing, right? I end up wanting to see one of my athletes play his spring game at JMU. So I drove all the way to JMU. All right. I drove to JMU when I was like 10 minutes away or so. I'm just gonna throw that out there. They said the game was canceled. Right.
Mm.
Keep in mind, it's like it wasn't that far of a drive though. It's like, what is it, like 3 hour drive or so? Like it wasn't that bad. But when I got there, they was like, yeah, it's canceled. So I drove all the way there. It was canceled. So on my way back, I had to drive back. Some people might have been like, yo, I just wasted my gas. Right.
Mhm.
Some people might say, "Man, I just wasted my gas. Da-da-da. I went all the way here. Now I got to drive all the way back." But the first thing that came to my mind is like that gas was gonna spit regardless. If I would have went to
Right.
the game, I would have drove the same distance. So why would I
Yeah.
sit there and get mad and be like, "Man, I done wasted"? Like that don't make sense because regardless if you would have went to the game or not, you used the same amount of gas, bro. You would have had to drive there. You would have had to drive back, bro. So I'm not finna waste my energy and be all
Yeah.
worked up because the game got canceled. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is like the biggest difference. Like somebody that's not emotional intelligent, you can hear it in their complaints, like what they complain
Mm-hmm.
about, and the fact that they complain a lot, you know, like
Yeah.
because what they're saying is not gonna change the situation. And the only thing worse than complaining is complaining about things you can't control because then it's just like, all right, bro, like,
Yeah.
but
You
what
had
you
no
gonna
control.
do? Yeah, like, and then like, you'll
Mhm.
also see situations, right, where you'll have a conversation with somebody and they're just nagging, complaining, and throwing all these problems at you, but they're not solution oriented. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. If
Yeah.
somebody's unintelligent, they're not solution oriented. What they want to do is they want to throw out all these different things and complaints and problems. But then when you ask them, okay, listen, I understand what you're saying, but what are we gonna do about it? Like we're here now. You're talking about the
Mhm.
past. We can't change the past, but we can only change how we act from this, how we go from this. Like, what are we gonna do? But you'll notice they don't. They have no like they have no care in the world about the solution.
Yeah.
They
Right.
don't
I know
like
that.
they don't care. They just want to complain and throw problems. No solutions. Nothing. They just I don't want to hear nothing. I just want to
It's
complain.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Very
That's
real.
real. That's real.
Very real.
I think some of the signs also include people who aren't able to accept feedback,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
constantly blaming other people, becoming, they complain, but then they also they blame other people for situations. People who are always defensive. You kind of spoke on that, Xavier, where people just take everything so personal.
Mhm.
Even in a disagreement, like sometimes, yeah, Devin, you said it, like, yeah, you're wrong, but that don't mean you're always wrong. You were just wrong
Mm-hmm.
in this situation. And the biggest
Yeah.
thing that you all been saying tonight is the struggle of seeing the situations from another person perspective. You know, I I think if someone who lacks emotional maturity is lacking emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Mm-hmm.
The chat says a narcissist. Well, girl,
Oh,
that was everything we just named. That's
yeah.
all wrapped in one
Oh,
person.
sushi roll.
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh,
is. Yeah, that's like a
Virginia
conglomerate.
says yes.
Yeah, mean,
Virginia said someone that's mean. Yeah.
negative.
Constantly mean, constantly negative, no matter what the
negative.
outcome is. It's
Yes,
this
yes,
ah
yes,
Debbie
ah.
Downer.
Yeah. Ha.
Yes, negative Nancy's.
yes, bro. Like, yo, what a party
Real.
pooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Um,
Mhm.
I'm so used to
so
responding. So when someone would trigger me, I would constantly react, and then I would say,
Mm.
"My God, I failed the test." So the next go around, I challenge myself to react differently.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Practice make progress.
amen. Yeah,
Progress. Pathological liar. Yeah.
of course. You just keep lying. You just be lying for no
Don't even,
reason.
don't even take a break to bring water. Lie.
No, you lie about that.
And
Oh
we
yeah.
all know it. We just want to wait back, lay back, and see what you going to lie about next.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially when you realize
Mhm.
they lying.
Yeah.
Um, so what do you think men and women often misunderstand about each other in communication?
Oh,
I got something for this.
yeah, go ahead.
If you poll most, okay, let's speak in generals. In general, do y'all think it's true that women are driven more by emotions?
Yes.
Yes.
If women are driven more by emotions, why would you expect for them to act logical?
Mm.
And on the flip side, if men are driven more so by logic, why would you expect for them to act emotional? Why would you expect an emotional communication? Like, I speak for me. For me, I've had conversations with women, and they like, I'm saying, I'm trying to solve the problem. I'm trying to fix the thing. But like Xavier was talking about earlier, just want to talk about the problem. And sometimes people, they don't want to solve the problem. I just want to talk about. I just want somebody to listen to me. I just want to talk. I just want to vent. That's an emotional thing. And so we gotta compromise. We gotta accept and compromise that I'm not emotional, so don't expect me to be emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't expect me to be like you, and don't expect me,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't expect you to be like me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something. I want to say something.
Yeah, of
All
course.
right. So you had made a point. You had said sometimes they just want to complain. They want you to listen, but they don't care about the solution. What I learned though is a lot of people, women, we can talk about women, they don't necessarily care about the solution until they feel understood,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we got to navigate. And to answer your question, says the biggest hurdle that men and women come across in terms of communication is the not accepting the fact that we're different. Like we're
Yeah.
different. And I think
Yeah,
if people understood that we were different, they wouldn't stress themselves out so much. A man and a woman are just biologically, emotionally, and psychologically different. I'm not gonna say that men don't act off emotions because that wouldn't be necessarily true. But it's just that men and women just process our emotions differently, and therefore it affects our actions. Because technically all humans are just emotional creatures. Half the decisions that we make, whether it's buying something or decision making, a lot of it is emotionally driven. But in terms of relationships and communication, everybody has different communication styles. But I do think oftentimes, like, if it is a woman and a man might say something like, you just you don't care about a solution, you might X, Y, and Z, but they just want to talk. And the reason why is because sometimes they do want to feel understood. Like, they'll rather vent to you, because also some people, they might just want to get things out of them, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that when we're in a world where people fail active listening skills, in other words, a lot of people, when we're listening, we're just listening to respond. We're not
Amen.
truly internalizing what the person is saying. We're not truly trying to dig deeper and peel the layers back to what they're saying. We're trying to hurry up and jump to a solution, or we're just trying to think about what we're going to say next. So, being that they are venting to us, being that they are complaining or whatever, it might not even be a complaint all the time. It might just be them expressing their feelings. If they are expressing their feelings, sometimes what people need is somebody to say, wow, okay, so it sounds like when this happened, X, Y, and Z took place. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Okay, well, it sounds like that made you feel this way. Yeah, and then once you start to label, because that's a communication technique, but once you start to label and mirror what the person is saying, and you cause them to really dig deep, once they've exhausted everything that was in their heart, once they said everything that they really felt and that was on their mind, now they're in a position to be solution oriented, right? But they kind of got to get there for it. Like, you got to kind of like guide them. Like, you got to guide them,
True.
allow them to empty their cup. Once their cup is empty, then you can say, listen, based off what you said to me, based off what you're telling me, it sounds like the case is X, Y, and Z. So what I would recommend is A, B, and C. Now that they already felt understood and you already didn't spit their world out back to them, now they're in a place where they can accept your solution. They be like, you know what? Yeah, that is true. Because everything you said was exactly how I felt. And if you're saying I should do this, then maybe that is what I should do. Because now I know that you know exactly what I mean by what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I I agree, bro. I mean, you took that journey, and every point you made, it makes sense to me. I've seen it in my own life, and what came to my mind when you were talking is love. Something that I had mentioned with you, sister Evie, on our interview was I've seen that when you truly love a person, whether it is the man in your life or the woman in your life, the love you have for them is going to drive you to take the journey that Brother Xavier just described. If you don't love a person, of course you're going to throw away any work that it takes to understand that, right? Because I agree 100% that women fundamentally just require different steps emotionally through conversation than men do. For me personally, I'm always just kind of like, okay, most of the time I'm like, let's just get to the, how can we resolve this? Let's just, because to, and maybe it's this just Elijah. I'm like, I could die 5 minutes from now. So like, why are we doing this right now? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
time is of the essence. And so that's kind of how my brain is just it feels more exhausting to go through all the motions just to get to the point that I raised an hour ago in this
Exactly.
conversation. But which most of the time happens. But
Mhm.
I that's why I bring up the love aspect, because yeah, I mean the bottom line is we none of the guys here can change women. Men have tried to do that over the centuries since the Bible days. Women have been the same way. It's nothing's worked. So I think they're here to stay, and I think that's never gonna
Yo,
change.
go ahead, yo.
You know, so
They're here to
think
stay.
I just think we have to come to terms with
Yeah.
that. We have to come to terms with that and not try to change what God have just made be the case. I don't know if that's
Wonderful.
Eve's fault, but that's a different story. But my point is, I do think that when you love a person, you're willing to figure it out, and do the extra steps. You know, like
Right.
I feel like I feel it being exhausting as a guy, but
Yes.
the people that I love, I'm willing to catch my breath and say, let's go through this then. You know, if this is
Right.
what
Yeah.
it
Definitely
takes
can't
for you to feel
compromise.
loved, then I got to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And
Absolutely.
that's a good point. I was gonna say too, like to your point, like I said, when somebody doesn't feel understood, they're not acceptive, or they
Right.
might reject your solution. That
Yeah.
also goes into the same boat as criticism, right? If you notice in human nature, nobody have y'all ever got unwarranted advice.
Oh,
You didn't
plenty
ask
of
for
time.
advice. All right. Now
Yeah.
let take that same emotion, right? And now put it into perspective of a relationship where a woman is trying to express to you her feelings, and you're already giving her a solution before you even identified the clarity of something, right? Because that's the point
Hmm.
of active listening. Because when you understand listening and emotional intelligence, you understand layering, right? Because when a
Right.
woman is telling me something, right, it's rarely, first of all, it's rarely surface level. Like the first thing they say is probably not what the situation is.
Oh,
Like
nothing.
you're gonna have, yeah, you're gonna have to like really like dig in. And that's what humans in general, right? Like you want to
Yeah.
ask these questions, you want to focus on them so intently to where you're peeling the layers back to what they're saying, to where you get to the core of what they're saying. Once you get to the core and you figure out their actual problem, then you can give a solution. So like the same feeling you get with unwarranted advice, like you could be talking to a friend and all you want to do is just tell them a problem you're having, right? All of a sudden, you should
Yeah.
do this. I didn't ask you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't ask you, right? Like
I,
you're just,
yeah.
nobody likes a person that just gives advice when nobody asks them, bro. Right?
Yeah.
I have a question, Sister E. I saw a video of a guy. One, well, not just the video, but a lot of times I've heard other guys talk about how like, well, this is how I am, and I ain't gonna change for nobody. So,
Mm.
do y'all think that? I mean, I know what I think, but do you think that
Mhm.
in those men and woman dynamics, those relationship dynamics, it's worth to like tweak, right? Like to tweak the wiring.
Yeah.
Say like a lot of guys like I've met and grown up, they're just very blunt. Like I'm gonna say how it is, and that's just the way it is because I'm honest. Like, so do you think like obviously
Right.
a lot of women are not always receptive to that kind of stuff? You know what I'm saying? There are
Yeah.
women like that too, but my point is
No.
like, do you think that it takes away, or do you think it's a part of that process to retweak and tune ourselves up to that thing of like, okay, the blunt honesty thing may not be useful in this
Yeah.
relationship, and I should change
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
what do y'all
I
think?
do think that a man should tweak according to his wife, right? Or the woman that
Mhm.
he's courting. So,
Mhm.
according to her, what is necessary? What is a better, how is she going to receive what I'm saying?
And
You,
real quick to add what you're saying, do you consider that him not changing who he is as well? You know what I'm saying?
right. He's not. He's because in a relationship, there's always give and take. So, A lot
Yeah.
of times in women, we are chameleons. You put us in an
Mhm.
environment and we adapt to that environment. So when you have a man who's willing to be more of a chameleon
Mhm,
in that situation
mhm.
and be there for her and support her through that and whatever she needs, then that's one little tiny piece of your life that you're tweaking, but it's so essential because then it helps the relationship last longer, because she goes from feeling like he's never listening to me, he doesn't care what I have to say, to saying, oh, he's attentive. And just to kind of express myself with this question, I think, for speaking for myself, being attentive during the conversation and actually having the conversation, and then once the steam balls down and everything is calm, then the solution can come. But in the moment of the deep emotions as a woman, I want that attentive, listening to every detail that I'm saying, giving me some feedback on what I said, and then
Yeah.
later on saying, like, I was thinking about what we discussed, and I think that you should take this, and this, and this approach. If I am at a 10, and it don't matter if I'm at a 10 with him or it's something in the world that has caused me to be at a 10, when I hear a solution, immediately I shut down because I feel like you're not listening, and I immediately go into, you're not listening. And it's like, he is listening to you because he's providing you a solution, but my brain doesn't work like that. So everything you brothers are saying is just so on point. And as a woman, I can definitely express that part because it gets real. It gets real out here.
I
Yes.
want to say
Yes.
something on this topic. Goes back to communication styles. Some people, I think communication is essential. And if your communication is not compatible, that's going to be a hurdle that I don't think is worth it. I think you'd be better off finding somebody that you are compatible with instead of fighting trying to make it work with somebody you're not compatible with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are different communication styles, right? Like you got amiables, you got expressives, you got analyticals, you got drivers, right? Drivers just want to get to the point. Expressives are more so outgoing, articulate, things like that. Analyticals are always like numbers, they want to know the reason why behind things. Amiables just
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to be happy. They don't want to cause no problems, right? So
Yeah.
I do encourage people to study the communication types, you know. But
Mm.
I was about to say something to you, sis, especially when you was like, the solution thing and not listening. And it's true, you're not wrong for that because think about it. Let's just look at this for a second. How can you give me the right solution if you don't know the extent of my problem? Right? You can't give me a solution when
Yeah.
I tell you something, right? Because I can tell
Right.
you that's like you trying to diagnose me before you know all my symptoms, right? Imagine going
Right.
to the doctor and saying, I have a headache, and the doctor's like, I know exactly what you need, right? And you're like, okay, great, right? But you ain't let them know that your left foot be twitching when you go to sleep, and your arm is swollen, and your heart is skipping beats, right? Like you're diagnosing before you get the fullness of the symptoms, right? And that's what a lot of men, and a
Yeah.
lot of people in
It's
general. I don't want
true.
to just box men in, but that's what a lot of us do with
Yeah.
friends, with girlfriends, with whatever.
Mhm.
Like it's just that idea of jumping too quick to solutions. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think that's kind of where we fall short a lot of the times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say to not push back on Devin's point, but and maybe help me understand if I misunderstood your point. I do think, or maybe this is outside of your point. Maybe do you concur that there are people that are kind of like hybrids? You know what I'm saying? Where some people really just possess the ability to be like, oh, this doesn't work with you. Okay, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Sure,
do you think?
you could learn the skill, but I think
Okay.
people are born. You born right-handed where you dominate right-handed, but you still use your left hand. You can learn how to use both, but
Hmm.
you born with one that's more dominant.
So do you think that the hypothetical relationship wouldn't be salvageable if they're not able to um obtain the alternate
I mean, yeah,
effective,
you can
you know what I'm
salvage
saying?
it. It's just going to take more effort. Me
Hmm.
personally, I prefer to not start the relationship if I already see how it's going to take
Yeah.
more effort. I'd rather go over here where it's easy,
Right.
where it just flow,
Understandable.
it's
Hey,
just compatible.
take the path of least resistance. That's what Devin.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
nah,
Fair
and
We
I
enough,
gonna
got
be
my
you,
at
and
this
I
for the
got
brother.
you.
next 40, 50 years. No, I'm not trying to be fighting for 40 years.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand that,
Totally
and
good.
to your point, Elijah, I love
Mm,
that, right? The hybrid thing, right? When you
mm,
study communication styles, right?
right.
You'll come across what you're talking about, right? Where some people do have multiple, right? But you have a dominant and you have secondaries and thirds. So some
Right.
of us do have multiple, but also the reason why it's so important to understand communication types because I can identify within
Mm,
just my friend group if they're an
yeah.
amiable, a driver, an expressive, or analytical, and then that actually governs the way I communicate to them.
Yes.
I
Yes.
had somebody I dealt with, and I'm a very analytical person, but I'm also expressive, right? So the thing is, though, when I'm talking to them, I like to be articulate, I like to explain. But I started to realize, like, nah, this person don't really like all that. They're like, bro,
Yeah.
like get to the point, bro. You know
I
what I'm saying?
express that.
But
Yeah.
Mhm.
then when I talk to person B, they just like me, so we having a ball. We
Mm,
both
Exactly.
explaining and
uh-huh.
being articulate and analyzing and things like that. But I know I could deal with that person that way, and I could deal with that person this way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm,
and then I just want to kind of shift gears a little bit because I know we was talking
mm,
about men too dealing with women.
mm,
Now, I do feel like not to get too spiritual, but I know that God, right? He's everything, right? And I know that men are supposed to reflect them. So, in a sense, I do believe a man should be everything, or at least strive to be. And what I mean by that is it is literally our duty to try to be so tuned in on personal development where
yeah.
you can literally equip yourself with all the tools that you probably are going to need when dealing with a woman. And I can't speak for all men, but that's like my mindset. And the reason why is because I understand what I want and I understand that women are different. But it's kind of like a toolbox, though, right? Like
Right.
when a handyman has a toolbox, he might not use all the tools in the toolbox, but at least he has it at his disposal. So if he's dealing with person A or person B or person C, he can pull the specific tool that's needed for the job and get it done. There's nothing that he won't be able to handle or do within that specific situation because a
Mm,
woman is emotional, bro. Like a woman is gonna have hard days. She's gonna break down sometimes, but are you gonna be able to talk her through it and be able to allow her to wind
mm.
down and then feel back comfortable so you can be who you're supposed to be? You know what I'm saying?
And
Mhm.
I want to add too, real fast, sis, if I can. To your
Yeah.
point, what came to my mind also was the men to woman relationships are not always romantic, right? So, like, say,
Mhm.
you have that one type of communication with the woman that you're interested in. Well, what if you have a daughter and she's not like that? You see what I'm saying? So you have to be.
Mhm.
What if you have a sister friend? Because yes, you can be friends and a male and female. I just want to put that out there.
Yes, you can.
But I just want to say that. But I because
Uh,
I'm one of the chosen ones, So it's like I know what it's like to have to be able to diversify and like, okay, this person they shut down when they going through something. This person they running to me when it's so it's like, not looking through things from a dare I say Western sexualized woman chasing mindset where it's like it's all about that. No, it's also
yeah,
about broadly your mother. Your mother may not be. You have to you know what I'm saying. So there's all kinds of women that we interact with that we have to, like you said, excellently. We really, I think we should strive for so many different arms of communication styles because we're not
got
going to
to.
just have a wife. There's many women we have to deal with in our lives that we have to
Yeah,
love equally and
yeah,
treat with
Mhm.
respect. You
yeah.
know,
I
that's
Good
agree
it.
stuff.
100%. I agree
Yeah,
100%. We got to be
Good
that way,
stuff.
especially
We
with
have
your
a question.
daughter, with kids. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, a
Like that's
question
why
from the
kids feel
audience.
misunderstood and everything. Like, and they'll start
yeah.
retaliating because the dad don't really understand that his son might be different
Mhm.
than his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Or they might not understand the emotional intelligence side of their kids, and they wonder why their kids retaliating, but they never feel understood. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
kids always feel like they can never do nothing right. They always feel like X. They always feel
Mhm.
like Y. And then they wonder like why their kids is retaliating. And it's like, yo, you're not
Mhm.
showing them love. How can you show somebody love without showing them understanding or listening to
Mhm.
them or caring for them? You can't properly love somebody if you don't listen. You can't properly love somebody if they don't feel understood. It's impossible. So
Agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, to answer Brother Solomon, I just walk away. I go for a walk.
Yeah. Brothers, if someone's bugging out, you from New York, bro? That's what we say. What borough are you from? That's fine.
he said, "Go all out." He said, "Go all out."
That's how my dad
Go all
talks.
out on you.
I guess this is a very I read this as a personality based type of question because for me I'm an artsy guy, so either I'm gonna write a song about what you've done to me or I'll
They be like,
just keep it
"Dang,
at
bro, Elijah." They be like,
all I
"Dang, bro, Elijah, that new
yeah
song fire, bro. What happened,
yeah
man?
you gonna hear
And
me in
Food
testimony.
Lion, bro. And Food
Right.
Lion,
I'll
man."
be in
Just
church
get
like the devil got in my friends today. Lord.
That's
No,
hilarious.
but no, I don't know. I think I think tapping into everybody has those things that they bring them comfort, whether it's like a passion or something. But I agree with Brother Dev. Like if it's a physical situation, the best thing to do is walk away if you can, but
Yeah.
walk away backwards depending on the circumstance. Because if you walk away with the back turn, that could be dangerous. But okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I
That's
don't got nothing to
good.
say to that one, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said
Yeah.
he's from the UK, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're from
Okay.
the UK? Yep,
Yeah.
yep. I
Nice.
figured that. I think I talked to brother before on Instagram. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
So, another question. She says, "Would you say
Mm.
within the last 10 years, some men have become super emotional?"
What you mean by super emotional?
Yeah, I want to know more.
Oh, you got to
Elaborate on
break it down, V.
that.
Come on
You gotta
back.
make it plain. You gotta open it
Can I
up.
take this first? Can I take this
Yeah, go
first?
ahead. Sure.
Man.
So until you respond to this, I'm gonna just go off of my assumption here. What I got. I don't. I think it's possible, but I'm not convinced. Only because of my perspective on it. And I could be wrong. I'm just talking from my own brain. I think that um, maybe the a lot more men are taking the time out, maybe in their own personal lives, off camera, whatever, to say, "Hey, I just came off from a construction job, but honey, I'm not happy with my life." Maybe the men are just deciding to do that now more than they have before. And I think it will only serve us. I'm personally always going to be on the pro men opening up and understanding themselves because a lot of men in some cultures were not doing that. And it has not served society, in my personal view. I don't think men, if what you're saying is men crying and rolling on the floor because they got a splinter, that type of thing. I do agree that there are aspects of our generation that have gotten soft with the men. I can attest to that and agree. But as far as being vulnerable to their emotions, I think they have, and I think that is there are contributing factors. What is the word?
Economically?
Economically, thank
Yeah.
you. Psychologically, with all the wars and the stress and when finances, when the state of the economy puts a thumb on men, yeah, you're gonna find men a lot of times, whether it's leaning into depression, that takes a toll on me. There's so many areas I'm trying to just grab hold of something, but I just wanted to say I do think that men have gotten. I don't know if I would phrase it that way. I think men have just become more brave to not equate emotions with weakness. That's how I view it. So your
Mhm.
interpretation may be different, but I just want to share that.
All right.
Well, you mute. You mute.
Yeah,
EV.
we can't hear
Oh,
you,
okay.
sis.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
we
said
good.
she didn't explain. Just I'm over here
Okay.
yawning. I don't want y'all hearing me
I'm
yawn.
so
You
weak.
all
That's why I
good.
keep doing like
I'm
this
that
because I'm
boring,
like
sis? No, I'm just
yawning
playing.
real quick. Yeah,
I'm
it's about but anyway, we good. So with that being said, I would like to know any habits that you have adopted in your communication skills that made you a better communicator, mindfulness and things like that, which will be really good for us to, you know talk about more, listening more, interrupting less, asking clarifying questions, stuff like that.
Yeah. I just reading. Like it's one book called Never Split the Difference, amazing book. And in another book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, another amazing book. But I just that picking up on communication techniques, man. Like, I'm just the type of person, I just want to know how to do everything. Like, because I'm a technique person. I feel like if you can learn a technique, then you're more than likely going to be more effective, right? Technique is a very critical thing, and it's a couple of communication techniques that I've used and adopted, and I have instantly seen a difference. One in which is called labeling. Another one is mirroring. Another one is elicitation. And I kind of would just briefly touch on those three different ones. Labeling is pretty much when you start a sentence off with it sounds like, it looks like, it feels like, or it seems like. And that's basically very useful because it's labeling their emotion. It's identifying their specific emotion. If I have somebody who's venting to me about their day, and all of a sudden I say, it sounds like that X, Y, and Z made you feel like A, B, and C, they'll do one or two things. They will either agree with you or they will say, no, that's not how I felt. But either way, you'll get to the truth, right? And that kind of ties into elicitation. Elicitation is actually when you make a presumptive statement to withdraw information from somebody without asking them a direct question. All right. And that's very useful. It's useful in like FBI negotiations and things like that. So be careful with your intent because it can be used maliciously, but that's
Yes, it
anything,
can.
right? It's not inherently good or bad, just like a gun isn't inherently good or bad, but the intention of the one that has it in their, disposal, then that determines how it's used. But it's very powerful because I know in sales, right? And just in conversations in general, when you ask questions, you'll notice that people's guard kind of go up. Not everybody likes being questioned, you know what I mean?
Right.
So an example of elicitation is actually like, let's say I'm talking to brother Elijah, right? And I say something like this: Elijah, your favorite color is probably blue.
No, it's not.
Right. And then more times than not, right, it's human nature to correct people. People
Right.
love to correct people. So when I make a presumptive statement about something, or like you've probably been doing this a while, right? Just anything, right? Then I
Mhm.
can then get the information from them without them even
Right.
realizing it because I'm not asking them a direct question.
Right.
Right. Because I'm just making a presumptive statement, allowing them to correct me, and I'm getting the
Yeah.
same result. So you can
Yeah.
take a question that you have, right? You can reverse engineer it and figure out a presumptive statement to match the question, say it,
Yeah.
right? And then get the information. And you might be like, why would you ever use this? Well, because
Mhm.
sometimes when we're getting to know somebody, have y'all ever felt like it felt like an
Right.
interview or a
Oh.
questionnaire? Like sometimes we're trying to get to know somebody, we're just asking them questions like,
Hmm.
where are you from, or what's your favorite, like you're just asking them questions and questions and questions, and you're like,
Right.
okay, this does not feel conversational, it's awkward.
Hmm.
But when you start throwing in presumptive statements, it makes it fun and it makes it more conversational because now you're
Yeah.
just speaking statements instead of asking questions, right? And then the last thing is mirroring. Mirroring is just when you repeat the last like couple of words that somebody said, the most important words, and you just kind of say it with an uptone, right, to cause them to elaborate more on it, right? They might be like, "Man, I had a terrible day." A terrible day? And then it caused them to just kind of elaborate, like, yeah, it was terrible because of X, Y, and Z. And
True.
then after you mirror like twice or three times and they start to spit out everything, then you hit them with a label. It sounds like X, Y, and Z made you do A, B, and C, right? So
Hmm.
it all kind of flows together. And I think that those like handful of like emotion, communication techniques have made like my navigation of it just like so much easier for sure, 100%.
Yeah. I learned a lot of that from CSI, for real. Not gonna lie, man.
Literally, they got some
Hmm.
gems, man.
They
Seriously.
do.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff. That
Yeah,
was
very well
really
said.
good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Devin, did you go?
Um, no, yeah, that was good, Xavier.
Mhm.
I would say, if I could
Right.
add anything, I would do the story. So when I was driving Uber back, like this is like 2015, I would test the people, like my passengers, because everybody don't want to talk, but some people do want to talk. So I would throw a little test question out there to see who want to talk, and if they want to talk, then we talk. If they don't want to talk, then we don't talk. Either way is cool with me, and that's been something that's been helpful to me to just tailor based
Yeah.
on the person I'm talking to. Tailor my communication based on the person I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say that's one of my techniques. I'm really good with one-on-ones because I'm able to kind of just like tailor, like you just said, my conversation to that specific person. Sometimes I get a little anxious when I'm in groups because you know how as a kid you always felt like I gotta say something, I gotta stand out, I gotta let people know I'm here. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm learning like it's okay to just take a step back and chill. So that was really good. One of the things that I'm working on is listening more and not interrupting people, though people interrupt me, and learning how to
I'm a witness.
and, learning how to say, um, thank you, but hold on, let me finish my thought. Or, and that takes emotional intelligence without being rude, even in communicating that, like, hey, I wasn't done yet. Sometimes people get so excited about what they're thinking that they cut you off, and it's like, hey, I wasn't done.
Right.
But it's a way that you have to communicate that to the person so that they don't get offended. They want to keep the conversation going, but they also become aware if they really care. I got this Bluetooth on. If they really care to have awareness, So those are
Right.
some of the things that I'm currently working on as well. I see there's a brother in the chat that's asking about how do you receive you're asking about seeking the Holy Ghost. Unfortunately, brother, this podcast is not focused on that, but there is a lot of content on YouTube that you can refer to by our apostle Gino Jennings, and then also the ministering brethren. There's a whole catalog on the what's it
Truth to
called?
God broadcast.
The
First Church
broadcast,
of
but
our Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm talking about where they do the uploads.
The
Um,
YouTube channel.
No, where
She
SharePoint.
talking about SharePoint. Yeah,
SharePoint,
she's on
SharePoint.
SharePoint.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Right.
You can
Right.
also go on SharePoint and hear some of the ministers. They preach on the Holy Ghost often. But unfortunately, this podcast is not centered on that, and I don't want to change the direction of the podcast. But thank you so much for being here and contributing to the conversation. Next, I would say now this one might be. I
Hey,
don't know.
can I say one thing before?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, you made a really good point where it's like choosing your words and like tonality to not offend somebody and things like that. Because I know it was either you or Brother Trent. One of you guys was talking about how some people they're just bold, or was it Brother Elijah? I don't know. It was like
Yeah. Yeah.
some people are very like bold or
Direct.
like blunt and direct, and their defense is this is how
I'm just
I'm
being
just
honest.
real. I'm
Yeah.
just real. I'm just being I'm just blunt. Nah, man, you just lack the finesse to be able to choose
And
your
that's
words and deliver things in the right tonality, man. Like you're not this is
exactly.
like you do it's not just by chance that everybody you walk to is just offended by you, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're not just like, you know what I mean? Like you're not
Right.
it's
yeah,
not that you're blunt. Like you can be blunt but be finesse with your words and choose your words and be able
Absolutely.
to use the right tonality. And that's hard. It takes
Yeah.
time. That's something that you have to acknowledge about yourself and actively try to change it because there's so many different ways you can say something. You could be blunt and be
Yeah.
like, oh, da 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 da. But it's about their delivery, though. Like, it's about your
Right.
delivery and the words you choose. So that's why, to Brother Trent point, communication to me is one of the most important like techniques or most important skill that you can have like in this life, to be honest.
yeah.
Agreed.
So
Agree, brother.
Yeah.
Agreed. Learning how to choose your words wisely and communicating that is so, so, so essential in emotional intelligence because I used to be told all the time, Elvira, it's not how you said, it's not what you said, it's how you said
I
it.
see
And I'm
it.
like, I'm
right.
just saying
Yeah.
what it is. When you're talking about sometimes being blunt and upfront is maybe necessary, but sometimes it's let me use my words correctly. Sometimes being blunt can be a little form of abuse in a way for me, how I look at it, because you can choose to say that differently, but you chose to say it the way you did because
You
you knew
did.
it was going to
The
hit
ego
the
thing.
way it did,
You did. You did. I
Yeah.
taught us. I had to talk to somebody about that, man. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. No, like, then we talked
Yeah.
about it later. I was like, look, when you said that, it made me feel like, you was kind of like, you feel me? And they ended up
Yeah.
telling me like that's how I wanted you to feel. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
at least they was
I,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is, you know.
that's what they say. Oh, I'm just being
Absolutely.
honest. But
It's a
we,
time for that though.
it
Yeah.
is a time. Thank you. I
It's,
think one of y'all said that earlier, right? Was it you,
oh,
Devin?
I
mm.
don't know.
Elijah?
Well, I did want
He
to
said it
add.
was me.
I wanted to
Yeah,
add one more
Elijah.
thing.
Yeah, say that.
I wanted to add one more thing too, really quick. For one of the things with emotional intelligence, I try to read social cues. Something that
Yes.
I realized, I didn't realize what it was, but over the years, whether people sometimes, I've always found myself gravitating toward people that often maybe like are on the outside.
Yeah.
Even in school, most of the people that you would see me sitting with will be the shy kids, the one that hardly ever speak, and you just see me cracking jokes and they just giggling, So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the same time, I have learned, I had an experience super small, and hopefully, if they're watching this, they remember that they were in this story actually. But I was somewhere doing something at an event, and I was approached with hostility.
Yeah.
And it was within maybe 3 seconds of the question that I was asked. Like, it was one of those, like, quick moments, but I was like, oh, you're not actually being nice to me. You're playing in my face. You're trying to insult
Yeah.
me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I could have bit the bait, but I didn't. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And I was kind of on
Mhm.
autopilot. I was just like, oh, thank you.
Mhm.
But and when
Mhm.
we walked away, I was like, wait, you were trying to make me feel small about myself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I have learned, negative or positive, to observe social cues has been one of my secret weapons, which is why even in church, I'll just make that example to what you were saying a little bit earlier about having a little bit of contention. One of the reasons why thankfully have never been able to get so upset and distraught about church drama is because I'm like, I read the social cues and I'm like, I can see it a mile away a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Or if sometimes if you observe things a certain type of way and you can see like certain patterns of behaviors or body language,
Mhm.
the way that they handle other people, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm dealing with. So I've learned that
Mhm.
that is one of my particular strengths, is that I can kind of observe people from a distance. Not all the time. I'm not some like psychic, but I'm just saying a lot of times I can observe body language, voice, choice of words, um, just disposition, demeanor, and I can kind of usually assess fairly accurately who I'm dealing with and what is approaching me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So to not
Yeah.
get tangled up in it. So I just wanted to share
Yeah.
that. Social
Yeah,
cues,
that
if
was
you're listening.
good. Social cues is a big thing,
Yeah.
but it's a balance because we don't
Yeah.
want to read too deep into them till we're
Exactly. You
overthinking.
got to be careful with that. But
Yeah,
it's real.
right. But we can pick up on little subtleties and be like, okay, let me change this. Let me
Okay.
change my tone, or I'm tall. I don't know if many of you see me in person, but I'm tall and
Mm-hmm.
I'm brown. So I have to be very, very intentional, especially in the workplace when I'm approaching a situation, because I don't want to be labeled as angry, mean, the mad black, woman.
Don't get me
So I
started.
have to I have to be very mindful on, my delivery. I thank the Lord for my voice, just the natural speaking voice, because it doesn't come off that way. And I put in an extra softness so that it can kind of ease the blow that I have to I have to give sometimes. Not that I'm doing it from a place of
Yeah.
being mean or spiteful, but sometimes you got to speak on negative situations and be clear to get an understanding. So, a lot of social cues do play a big part into that, just paying attention. I wanted to know, you guys, we are approaching like an hour and 36 minutes. So I wanted to know, it doesn't even feel like that, does it?
Not really.
Nah.
Nah, we just been vibing. It's been beautiful. But I want to know, each of you, what advice would you give someone who struggles with expressing their feelings?
That is, hey, you know what?
Hey,
Me and
Not
Elijah were
it.
talking about this earlier. It's ain't nothing wrong with you, especially if you're a male and
Yeah.
you feel sensitive and you feel like you have deep feelings, ain't nothing wrong with you. It's
Mm,
okay to have feelings. You're not a robot.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I
not. It's okay to feel.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
it
piggyback
is.
off Devin real fast. I think if you struggle to express yourself, please know that I really hope that you can take a step forward because it is a sense of freedom that you can have when I can only, again, I it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so maybe I'm gonna stick on that. But you can be the best man and the best brother and the best friend once you let yourself feel what you feel. I think the important part is just what you do with what you feel. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
I'm so proud of any man that is able to reckon with their feelings and not push it off
mm.
as, well, I ain't gonna sit and talk about my feelings because that's what women do.
Nah.
Yeah, no, no, no.
When I meet men like this, I'm like, because it's we don't have the time for that. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
don't have the time. The world is not a safe place. Your life is not guaranteed, and I don't think if you say you love your wife and you love your kids, you'll be of any service to them, or even to yourself. So I hope that you can know that for me especially, I aspire to be better than I am now, and there are things right now that I'm aware of, but I haven't truly dealt
Mm,
with. And so I'm doing the work because I
mm.
can't truly be my best self. And I can wreck current relationships by not dealing with it. And if I was running
Yeah,
away from it, I would just I would just implode on myself. So I hope that you can know
right.
that it's not just you. A lot of men and women struggle to do that because we have been conditioned to believe if you express or acknowledge your feelings, you're weak. And that is a
Yeah,
lie. I'm convinced the
yeah,
devil had his hand in that too, because that is how you can
yeah,
destroy a people
yeah,
by giving them a
yeah,
false narrative of what they need to do. That's how I
yeah,
feel about it.
absolutely. What about
Yeah,
you, Xavier?
yeah, I agree. What was the question again? It was the about
What was
expressing their feelings to people
yeah,
that struggle
someone
with.
who struggles with that.
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, identify why you struggle with it, right? Things are always deeper than what it seems. If you have struggles with expressing your feelings, ask yourself, why do I care so much? Or why does it bother? Or why is it so hard for me? What you'll find out is the core reason why it's hard for you to express your feelings. A lot of it might stem from you're a people pleaser. You might, not want to put a burden on somebody, or you might feel like your feelings don't really matter, or you might have gotten scarred because when you did express your feelings, people just they kind of just ignored it, or they kind of belittle your feelings, and then you just concluded, well, I might as well not even express it because they're not going to understand, or I might as well not express it because they're not going to take it to heart no way. So I'd first identify why it is that you have a struggle with expressing your feelings. The second step is then to work on expressing your feelings little by little. Take your time. Don't be in a rush to express all of your feelings, right? You don't want to pour out all your heart, right? The Lord even tell you that you don't want to express all of your
Yeah,
heart. It's okay to keep some things to yourself.
very true.
But start little by little. Maybe say one thing that you feel, or say two things that you feel, and then slowly you'll get more comfortable with opening up a little bit more. And I think that's the big thing. And there's a lot of danger in not expressing your feelings, because then you'll start to do actions that's dictated by the feelings that you haven't expressed, which will bring confusion to the counterpart, because now they're like, why are you moving like that? Or why are you doing that? And then when you start to not express your feelings, you start to blow up, blow up, blow up. And then one day you pop, and to them, it feels like it's out of nowhere. But to you, it's been building up for a long time. So it's not fair
Yeah,
to them, and it's not fair to you. Always remember that it's not fair to them, and it's not fair to you for you to keep everything to yourself.
Go
amen.
ahead, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. That was good stuff. Good
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
stuff. I say start small. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to share everything at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Start baby steps. That hurt my feelings. And
Awesome.
say that and mean it. And but say it with grace. Like, sis, that hurt my feelings. Or, brother, that really hurt my feelings. And if they love you enough, they was like, well, how? Why? They'll want to know more. And if they like, oh, but what you said, Elijah, earlier, oh, that's just how I am. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I meant to say this
I
earlier.
know.
I can't stand that phrase. I can't
Yeah.
stand it because when you say that's just how I am, what if who you are sucks? What if who you are is not a good person? You suck because you are so like you're so blunt, you're so upfront, you're so matter of fact, you're so arrogant,
Right.
and it's like you never have any grace for those that you're having a conversation with, and you just say chalk it up and be like, well, that's just how I am. Well, you know what? How you are is not a nice person,
Mm.
and I don't want to be bothered with it. But sometimes it takes that, and I think I
Yeah.
struggle with this conversation and saying that in my past I always felt like I had to be that person to let the person know you ain't right, and now I'm growing in an area where it's like you can say that, but
Mm.
you don't gotta say that. You know, it's a way that you can let this person know that, you know, the way
Mm.
you moving or the way you talking to me is a little, you know, it's a little shaky to me. We need to talk about that. So I would say, to answer my own question, you know, start small. You know, you don't have to share everything at once, but you don't want to get to a point where you let so many things build up. So when you do blow the gasket, it's really blowing up and you got this whole situation to deal with. We did have a question in the chat, I believe. Hold on. Uh well, it wasn't more of a question, it was more of a statement, and I wanted to hear you brothers
Mm.
feedback on it. She says, I believe a man should express their feelings by venting, crying, letting out any positive emotion they need to. However, I notice some men are overly sensitive and mommy boys.
Mm.
she
Yeah.
she is,
Go ahead,
maybe
Deb.
that's what she meant earlier. Remember we
Yes.
asked her to explain,
Right.
so maybe I don't know, V, did you mean this earlier or to like, you know,
Mm.
deepen your thing? And then brother Gino P, he says, I speak with people for a living and I'm taking some jewels from y'all. Shout out to the panel and EFP. Pray
Thank
for me,
God for that.
brother.
Amen.
Pray for
Amen.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this conversation was so fruitful. I would love to have you brothers on again. But I think that this conversation was so fruitful and it was so much. Oh, look at the
Aww.
She
gotta
she
do
wa- she
that. Oh,
she
you
she
gotta
she
We're
show off.
so
she was crying so much.
She's
I was
making a
like,
guest
man,
appearance.
Oh, she's so
yeah,
cute
man.
with her little dress on.
Well, I'm so weak. Yeah, she
Little
was
Oh,
funny.
princess.
she is like, my dad. Y'all need to hurry up. My daddy need me. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's doing the
Well, she
most.
need her daddy. But
Yeah.
yeah, we wrapping up, Xavier.
Nah, you good. I'm
Such a
here.
beautiful little girl. Oh, thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Yes.
allowing us to see her. You got me smiling, boy. My cheeks all high and everything.
I'm
Mine
so
too.
weak.
My
This
cheeks are
girl,
wide.
man. This girl, yeah.
um I wanted to say thank you, brothers. You shared so much insight tonight, and you gave me some things to go back and think about my own communication skills and how I'm showing up in the world and things like that. In closing, I wanted to ask each of you this one last question. And if you all have any questions in the chat or any statements, any appreciation, any love, go ahead and flood the chat right now so we can at least hit it to the 2 hour mark. We had an hour and 45 minutes, and it feels good. It was a good show. So
Mhm.
the question is, if someone is listening right now and wants to become emotionally healthier, communicate better, and grow as a person, what is one piece of advice that you would give to that person?
I would tell them that everything is not for everybody.
Mm.
Self-awareness will reveal what is for you.
Mm. Mhm.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. That's
Yeah.
good.
Go
What
ahead,
about
Xavier.
you?
Or I'll go. I'll go. I would say, um, be patient with yourself, but always be willing. You know what I'm saying? Always be willing to take the journey. Like, Xavier and Trent, they gave so many different roadmaps to get to the same goal here that we were talking about. But if as long as you are willing, because in my experience, the people that are not willing, not humble enough to just, whether you're 60 years old, if you're watching this and you're up in age, it's not too late for you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It makes you even a better person to be willing to take the journey to get to emotional intelligence and to obtain those skills, at whatever age you may be. So be willing and be patient with yourself because it's not going to be an overnight process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I like that. What I would say is read, read, read. If you don't want to read, that's cool. Just listen to audiobooks as well.
Right.
Never Split the Difference, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and a book called Emotional Intelligence. Download an app called Hoopla,
Mm.
Hoopla, and it links to your local library and it's free audiobooks. You don't have to pay for anything. So I'm gonna just put that out there. Education is free, man. I think that if you want to get better at anything, you first have to learn about it. And I think that if somebody's really serious about getting better at communication, just be a student of the game. It'll pay you dividends. It'll pay you dividends in relationships to make you more money, help you better in your workplace when you try to negotiate or try to express that promotion that you want. It'll make it easier to do that, right? Like you can't. What can you do in life without communication? I mean, you have to talk, whether it's body language or verbal. Like you got to communicate. So just be a student. That's what I strive to do, is just to be a student and learn and never be complacent. Like if it's an area of life where you feel like it's weak, then just make it better, right? Like just make it, like just
Mhm.
strive to make it better. And I think that a lot of people, fortunately, especially in this way with the teaching we're getting, like not only spiritually but naturally, we're not complacent. We want to get better. You want to be the best man you can be. You want to be the best in the workplace. You want to do all those things. You know what I mean? So that's what I would
Mhm.
say, is just understanding that first you got to learn about it. Like you have to learn about it. And then also, brother Elijah and brother Devin has dropped some gems today. So I think that people can learn a lot from just that as well.
Yeah, come back and
Yeah.
watch the replay.
Yeah, we
Yes.
definitely is. I gotta
Share.
edit some stuff. I gotta edit that
Share.
beginning. But once it's back up, you guys come back and watch the replay. That was a ghetto mess in the beginning. I'm sorry. I gotta take
No.
that out. I can't leave
But
that in
you,
there.
but you know,
But
sis, I want to say, sis, real fast. I appreciate these things. I want to say that because
oh
this is like a time capsule. You know what I'm saying? It's we've
Exactly.
done it, and it can be helpful to someone 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
yes, we
And
be
if
oh,
and as
we so
as God
old.
elevates you, you know what I'm saying? You getting 8K and 10K and stuff. You can be like, wow, God, thank you for the growth.
Amen. Amen. I'm just appreciative that you guys are just always so kind and patient. And
Yes.
like, even Xavier was like, because the two of you were agreeing on, Devin and Elijah was agreeing on the same day. And I was like, Xavier, can you please? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And
Love it.
I'm so appreciative to all of you, but just, you're like, look at you, you're a whole dad. Look at the princess in the back with her little, I just can't get over her little blue dress. I'm sorry. It's just too cute. I'm sorry. But like the fact that you guys stopped what you were doing today to come on, is just, I'm just really appreciative. I ain't gonna cry because it ain't that deep, but I'm a little
I
too in
see him
touch with
coming.
my emotions. Okay.
We
So
appreciate
um
it.
Sister Virginia was saying her last comment, yes, was in reference to the earlier comment. Go ahead,
Can I?
Elijah.
Yeah, yeah. I when I read you, would you be able to pull up that her
Yeah. Oh,
Say
I hope
about
I
mommy
profile?
can.
boys. Why do say men recently been mommy's boys?
Mom is, but I think
Yeah, open it
Yeah,
up,
that was
okay,
man.
and
so like
so
V. I'm sorry, V. That was like, dude, like that was a
she said,
double punch.
ah! No, but like let me say, I do think you're right in both cases. I just think those are separate things. I think men becoming softer and
Mhm.
mama's boys partially is due to the fact that the fathers in the homes have been different. I always go
Mhm.
back up the ladder because there's a reason why our generation isn't as handy as the prior. Because the priors were
Mhm.
more handy than us, but I guess somewhere along the line they just stopped passing that skill down for a lot of young men. And
Yeah.
society also changes demands and the influence of the media. So I agree with you. I do think that men have gotten softer in whatever that can mean than they used to be, but I think that's a
Mhm.
separate matter personally from men being more aware of their emotional state and crying, like you agreed with, and stuff like that.
Amen.
So yeah,
Amen.
For real.
you spot on, sis. I don't know if y'all agree, but I just want to give my 2 cents.
No,
Wait,
yeah.
I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see her comment again. Like,
Comment,
where
yeah.
if you can
Oh my
find it.
goodness. Let me
Nah,
scroll up.
is it wait? Is it
Oh
wait? Nah, you
Lord,
don't got to do all that.
Oh,
You don't
you
got to
said you
do
gotta
all that,
scroll
man.
up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the gist of what it said because I did want to touch on that a
no,
little
I'm gonna
bit.
scroll up. I'm
Yeah,
going
so
up
so
there.
basically, so basically, she was saying was that to
Uh huh.
clarify her prior point was that she believed. I think she said she believes that men should be able to cry, express themselves, and express
Yeah.
their emotions, but And then another sentence was she believes that men have become like more sensitive and mama's boys. That's
within the last 10
Yeah.
years.
No, no,
within the
I will
last.
say, this though,
Oh,
like,
that's right. Let's go back to the last 10
oh
years.
wait,
Yeah.
go.
I did
Oh,
just
that
see
that
that
one.
one.
Okay.
That was the
The
original
original. Yeah.
comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just passed by it. So, okay, here we go. So the original comment was this, Xavier. Would you say
Mm-hmm.
within the last 10 years men have been super emotional? That was the verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
Super emotional. Yeah, I remember that one, but then I'm talking about the
The
Okay,
Mama's
second
then the
one,
Boy.
right? The
follow-up one.
clarifying
Okay.
comment.
Oh yeah, because you did walk away on
Yeah,
my
I
bad.
watched that. I watched that one. It was the other one
Yeah.
about the Mama's Boy.
All right, here it go. Here it go.
I
I believe
believe.
men. Go ahead, read it yourself.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I believe men should express themselves or
Mhm.
express their feelings by venting, crying, and letting out any positive emotion they need to. However, I've noticed some men are overly sensitive and mommy boys. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's true. Some men could be. Um, I don't ever think something is just black and white.
Black
I'm
and
gonna be
white,
honest, like
exactly.
because
Yeah.
like here's the thing though, like, and I keep going to marriage because like I don't know, I just feel like that's the
Hmm.
easiest example. But if you a man, I'm not saying you can't express your emotions, man,
Mm.
but you shouldn't express so much to where it become a burden to your wife. Because like we gotta remember, like the woman is the
Right.
weaker vessel. And I've actually talked to a woman before, and she said, like, listen, like I had to tell my husband to calm down, like as far as like
Mm-hmm.
telling me stuff and venting to me because it's too much for me. I can't handle all this.
Hmm.
And that's why as a man, you have before you even get married, you first have to master your own emotions, get to become the best communicator you possibly can be so that you can handle theirs. Because in a marriage, more
Hmm.
than likely what's gonna have to happen is you're gonna have to regulate your own emotions. And then
Right.
sometimes you might have to regulate hers. You know what I mean? You might have to be able to pour into her, but you have to first handle yourself. So, I don't feel like as a man you should have to, express
Yes.
every single thing to your woman. Like
Right.
that might be too much for her. She the weaker vessel. So, sometimes you gotta be in tune with your own emotions. But at the same time, the mama's boy is a whole different topic though,
Yeah.
right? Because
That's
men
yeah.
men that's raised by a single mother and they become mama's boys is rough because I me personally I was raised by my mom and dad, but I do know people that have been raised by their mothers and affect people differently. But like a lot of moms, like we said, moms are emotional creatures. Sometimes they might say something that they don't necessarily mean, right? But they say it out of their emotions, right?
Mhm.
And a guy that might be growing up in that environment, he might pick up some of those character traits. He might start doing the same thing that she's doing. Or I know a lot of times, if single moms they get defensive when the kid asks about their dad or something like that. Like, yo, where my
Mhm.
dad? They're like, you don't need your dad. Like, I grew up without a dad, or I did this, I did that. And I've heard that from multiple friends. Like, you know what I mean? So, mama's boys, it's a little different. They might operate a little differently. They might pick up some of those like feminine tendencies and stuff like that. But it's just about having grace, though. It was about having grace for real.
Yeah.
But I do agree that it's a
Different.
point where you don't need to express everything, bro. Like it's cool. You don't want to be a burden. Handle some things, but if you do need to vent to like your best friend, or you need to vent about certain things. I don't think it's ever right to keep your emotions bottled in, but you also
Mhm.
don't want to just pour out everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
That was good, brothers.
Yeah.
That was good. Snap,
I.
snap. We made it to an hour and 55 minutes, and we about to close out at the 2 hour mark. That is great. I love you
Wow.
guys so much. This was such a fruitful conversation. In closing, I would say, into reference to the advice that I would give someone to the own comment, the question is, if someone was listening right now and wants to become emotionally healthier, communicate better, and grow as a person, what piece of advice would I give them? And I would say just become curious about yourself and
Mm.
get you a journal. I got so many journals. Here go a
Yeah.
journal. I got a journal over there. I got so many journals that have special purposes, but I write a lot about my internal self, about like what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, how I'm doing. And I think that is so essential to kind of reflect on yourself and ask yourself why you reacted the way you did. Like what caused that, and write about it, or get a voice memo, or write it
Mhm.
in your notes and do a voiceover thing. So I
Mhm.
think that is so important. I do have a voice audio that I want to listen to and speak back, because the sister sent me a voice audio because it was a little easier to convey what she was saying. So let me listen to it and then speak on what she actually said in the audio. 1 second. Xavier just hit it right on the nose. She says she's seeing that. Hold on. She said Xavier hit it right on the nose. She's noticing that many married people are saying that their husbands are overly sensitive. And it's still going. Hold on. The woman having to regulate the kid emotions, the husband emotions, and her own emotions, instead of the husband kind of having the temperament to do it all. Hold on. Oh, she said
Uh-huh.
the mama still gotta cook, still taking on all these different things.
Mhm.
And that's a lot for a man to be overly sensitive. And I
Mhm.
have to deal with that plus my own emotions because I'm a woman.
Mhm.
There she
Mhm.
goes. She was like, I'm working out and I couldn't type all of that in the chat. All right,
Mhm.
that was it. So that's what she wanted to say. Go ahead, bro.
All right, man. Look, all right, check me out real quick, man. All right, so let's talk about the difference between cause I don't want nobody to misunderstand what I'm saying by any means when I say a man shouldn't express all of his heart, right? Because being sensitive is a different thing. You gotta understand when a man marries a woman, she's seeing all different parts of him. She's seeing vulnerable sides of him. She's seeing the weaknesses in him. She's seeing all these different type of things. So a woman should be to the point to where she's so much of a good woman that the man feels that he can be vulnerable without being judged or without being looked down upon because there's certain things that he can only tell to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the oversensitive thing is like I get it, but it's like nah, like a woman has a special place in a man's heart, when they marry. So it's like little things can't affect them emotionally. Now, in my opinion, I do feel like men are pretty simple though. Like at the most, and for the most part,
Y'all are.
we just want to feel respected. We just want to feel
Yeah.
respected, loved, and nurtured and comforted. That's all. That's really
Mhm.
all it really is to it. It ain't really much to it. So when you say oversensitive, it's like, all right, are you talking about like things that you have said and he complaining about as far as like, look, I don't like the way you make me feel or something? Because like that's normal, man. Like a woman
Mhm.
can make a man feel a certain way. Like it's certain comments that can come from your wife and it hit you way different if it came from anybody else.
Yeah.
If my wife says something to me, I'd be like, dang, babe, like really, like you know say that, you know what I'm saying? But somebody else could say it to me, and I'd be like, all right, cool, because you're a woman,
Mhm.
like you're my woman, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta be careful. So when it comes to being oversensitive, appreciate that because I'll
Mhm.
tell you one thing: if a man, you think a man oversensitive, and all of a sudden he just stopped confiding in you altogether, and he
Yeah.
just stopped coming to you altogether, that's gonna be a different story because he felt like when he did come to you, it never got addressed. So I just say like, let's have a balance though, right? Like I agree that you shouldn't be expressing all your feelings to your wife, but if your wife is doing something and it's not pleasing to you, then you should be able to be like, hey, look, babe, like when you do this, I'd rather you do it this way, just cause like that's just how I feel. That's just, when you do X, Y, and Z, I'd rather you do it this way. And y'all
Mhm.
had those conversations, but that don't make them oversensitive because you gotta think like you're his woman, like
Mhm.
that's your wife. Like every little thing she do is
Mhm.
gonna affect you, you know what I'm saying? Like that's
Mhm.
you married, you locked in for the rest of your life.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
You divorce her, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just feel like we gotta have a balance between sharing your emotions and then the word oversensitive, right? We don't ever want to use words like oversensitive, right? And
especially.
that's where
Sorry.
emotional intelligence comes. No, I'm gonna let you talk. I know you is on the tip of your tongue, but look, we gotta be careful with words like oversensitive, though. We
Yeah.
do. We really do because that ties into emotional
Mhm.
intelligence, right?
Right.
Understand him, understand the person. Not some people might not be over. Go ahead, Lodge. I'm gonna let you talk. Though. I know
No,
you
no,
have
no.
something good.
What I was gonna
Yeah.
say was a bit more this way. I was gonna say because I am a man of color, I often hear no, not that. I want to say that rhetoric, but that have often been more common in black homes that I've heard testimonies of, where it's like, uh, I don't know, just seeing culture from a cultural perspective. From a cultural
Mm-hmm.
perspective, it seems, and this is not this, sis, this is not related to you. I'm just giving a my perspective. Um, it seems like when black men in a lot of homes where it's like the culture is the same, it's like a different expectation or a different. Black men often can't exhibit the same kind of, I guess, emotional states or behaviors as maybe other cultures often do without it being translated as um, I'll even go. Let me just go a level deeper, and I'm gonna drop it. Another term that I feel like they use nowadays for oversensitive is sassy. I don't respect that 90% of the time because
Yeah.
that has often been weaponized
Mm-hmm.
to take away the man's point or to denigrate his masculinity because if you can't be right, well, I can make you feel less than a man and emasculate you, which
Mm-hmm.
this can just snowball. This conversation can just snowball into something else.
Yeah.
But that's what I hear when I hear sometimes the statements like uh, something, I agree with the brother. Like it's a case by case situation because men can be oversensitive, but I think, and what I've observed is that it's been a misdiagnosis. I don't know that that is often the case. I think it is
Yeah.
easier to frame it that way, but I think it is not. I often don't find it to be a fair assessment, especially when it comes to black men and just from my little world. So I just
Yeah,
wanted to share that.
I agree, bro. I
Well,
definitely
I gotta say
agree.
something in.
You said you
Uh-oh.
got to chime
I,
You
in.
got the
I got
accent
to chime in
too.
real
Oh,
quick.
All right, go
I
ahead, go ahead.
understand the sister's perspective
okay.
because where she's coming from is that when she has conversations from married women, this isn't something that she's just throwing out
Yeah.
here, but
Mm.
she's saying that she's having conversations with married women. And what the married women are saying is that not only does the woman have to regulate herself, she's having to
Yeah.
regulate the husband and the kids. And I thought that that was the job of the man. Now, y'all gonna have to break that down for me now
Yeah,
because I thought the man was supposed to be the temperature
Go ahead, bro.
checker in the house.
yes,
So
that is
if you
true.
are not checking the temperature and letting it be known and setting a standard, why is
Right.
your wife having to do that for you because you're too involved in your emotions to do it yourself?
Right. And remember, I did touch on that earlier.
Yes, you
And I
did.
Yeah.
told you that because I told, and just like I said in the last time, like the word provider is deeper than monetary, right? Provider is
Mm-hmm.
emotional stability, it's knowledge, it's logic. That's why I say, like, people look at me weird when I say you got to be everything. I'm being so dead serious. God is everything. We're made in his image to reflect them. We got to be everything. It's so true. Knowledge, man, like emotional, like everything you can get your hand on you need to strive to
Mm-hmm.
obtain because when you're running a household, you gotta check the temperature 100%. If I come home and the kids running crazy and my wife is telling me, look, this been happening, you ought to be able to bring everybody together. I'm talking about everybody together. I don't know if you got to sit them down, whatever, and have a conversation with them and be able to check certain things and put certain things in perspective. But in order to be able to do that, you have to have good communication skills, emotional intelligence, and leadership. Because there's no good leadership without emotional intelligence and communication.
Right.
Because to lead a family, like, there's no way you can lead a family when everybody is emotionally out of whack.
Right.
Nobody feels understood. Everybody feels like you're this dictator. Nobody's letting their point be heard. Like, you have to be able to regulate everything. So, to that sister's point, I 100% agree. I don't think a woman should have to regulate
Right.
her emotions, then regulate the kids' emotions, regulate the husband emotions. The husband, and this is what you signed up for, bro. Like, I'm sorry to break it to you. Like, you're gonna have to carry it on your back sometimes. Like, you're gonna have to take something to the chin. It is what it is, but you should
Mm-hmm.
be able to regulate everybody, including yourself, which is why earlier I said, as a man, you can't afford to not have emotional intelligence. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to master your own emotions because if you do want to have a family one day, it's rough. It's gonna be
Mm.
rough. You're gonna have to be able to navigate everybody and yourself.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I agree.
Everybody and yourself. That's
Godspeed.
Yeah.
real. Anything else? Anybody want to add?
I just had wanted to touch on the oversensitive part though, because I had to just
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
clear
you
that up a
did. And
little
I was
bit.
like,
Yeah,
wait
I
a
Put
minute,
just,
all
that's
you
not
things
what
in
know,
Russ is
order.
saying.
yeah. Like let's clear that because certain words
Yeah.
is dismissive terms, like
Right.
dismissive
Right,
phrases, and you want
right.
to be careful
Okay.
because yes, it's true in some instances, but people
Right.
do weaponize it. Like Brother Elijah likes to say, like people do weaponize it and
Yeah.
can use it as a dismissive tool, and that's
So we
not okay
can.
at all. You know.
Yeah.
Amen. All right,
Amen.
y'all. Anything you want to add, Devin, before we
Yeah,
check out?
bro.
Now I tell the brothers, get you some brothers that you can vent to.
Mm.
Yes,
Hmm.
Get
brothers,
get
heavy on
get
the
around the
brothers.
brotherhood.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
that'll
that's
keep
it.
you
It's,
from.
it's that
Yeah,
simple.
that's it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's
simple.
simple. Because that'll keep you from throwing
Short
things
and
on your
sweet.
wife, right, Devin? That'll keep you
True.
Yeah,
from putting a burden on your wife.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I'm gonna just highlight some comments. Greetings to everyone who came into the chat throughout the conversation, and we probably was in a deep conversation. I wasn't able to stop to greet you individually, but greetings
Mm.
to you.
Mm.
Um, she said she was just tapping in, but glad to see the joy on the way out. I'll replay for sure. Awesome.
yeah. Hit that replay.
Happy to have you.
Um,
Yeah. Oh man,
oh,
this
they
is
said,
good.
what's your favorite part of tonight's chat? Good. Yeah, y'all can, if y'all want to share, you can. If
I
not,
would
it's
say,
okay.
I'll say real fast, just hearing you guys, hearing the other gentleman here, I mean, if you saw me go like, oh, because I'm like, you schooling me. So I appreciate y'all's insight because you're speaking to the people, but I was taking it all into. So I appreciate just being part of this and, you know,
I
yeah,
appreciate y'all. I
yeah,
appreciate y'all. No, for real.
yeah.
Um,
Hey,
she
shout out
said,
to
brother,
Gino P.
yeah, shout out to
Mhm.
Gino P,
Yeah,
our
shout
brother
out to
in
Gino P. That's
NY.
my guy, man. We been on a couple
Yeah.
panels, man. Yeah, shout out to my guy Gino P.
Yes. Let me
Thank
see. Let
God
me
for you too,
see.
sis.
Oh, thank y'all. They said that.
Mhm.
Yes, she said this. Yes, 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 yes. Um, a lot of people are saying thank God for y'all, so that's a
Happy to help.
blessing.
Glad it's a
That's a
blessing.
big blessing. Um, greetings and greetings. It said, "Who was on the panel was raised by a single mom."
He, and I'm not a mama's boy. Look at
Me,
that.
I was kind of sort of. My parents had joint custody, so
Oh,
I was a I was
oh,
in Philly sometimes and North Carolina sometimes, but I got
oh,
the best of both worlds. So I
that's a
do
different
think
that's a different podcast, my sis.
I
Lord.
know that's a real one too.
Mm, yeah. God has been
Yeah,
good.
God is good. And I
Nah, for
love
sure.
what you brothers were saying because anytime I can talk to men and get
Right.
an understanding because I am raising a young boy that will be a man one day. He's going to become a man and hearing the I talked to Devin about this, having the balance of my femininity, but also being able to stand and be disciplined and
Mhm.
teach him in ways that's not so feminine, and then
Right.
still show up in the world like, oh, I can't pick this
Yeah.
up. Oh, I can't do this. And it's
Yeah.
so funny, Devin. I took your advice.
That's
I
adorable.
I ended up hurting myself walking. My heel of my foot kept rubbing on my sneakers and it ended up
Yeah.
giving me a horrible blister.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
my son is looking, he's like, Mommy, are you okay? And I thought about you saying, sometimes let them see you be weak. And I was like,
I
No,
love
I'm
that.
not. I was like, it hurts so bad. I can't I can't walk.
That's good though. That's very
And he was
powerful.
like,
Very
That's very
good.
I
powerful.
got it, Mommy. I'll get it. What
Yeah,
you need?
Yeah.
He just stepped
yeah,
up
Yeah.
in that way, like,
That's so
and
good.
then when it was time to go to bed and it got quiet, he said, Mommy, you all right? Okay,
yeah.
I'm
That's
just
Ah,
checking
good.
on you.
that's I
Wonderful.
And
want to
that
say
was
Wonderful.
that's what it's about. I want to say, sis, as
You
a as
need
the
that.
I want to say, sis, that you're doing an excellent job. I mean,
Yes.
I'm trying
I
my
remember
best,
as a
y'all.
young boy, we just want to feel like we need it in the house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yes.
amazing.
And I'll say this like because my mom she was very like yeah you know so sometimes when she complaining or she used to get sad, I couldn't take it serious, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like all I seen you be was strong, but then you want me to feel
Right.
bad for you. It was just so hard though. Like it was so
Yeah.
hard to feel that way when you never you always been aggressive and it's just hard. So it's very important for you to show your young boy that he can be that provider, that comforter and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
also like letting him lead sometimes. Like obviously don't, not saying like
He's
let
6.
him run you, but let him but
Yeah.
seriously, but it might sound funny, but sometimes let him make decisions. Sometimes let him
Yes.
make decisions.
Mhm.
All
Right.
that is so important because you'll be surprised
It
that
is.
some boys that grew up in a single mom household, they're indecisive. They can't
Yeah.
stand on no
Yeah.
decision
Oh,
making.
not
They
my
don't they
kid.
don't they don't trust themselves at all. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You gotta
Exactly.
meet
Yeah.
Legend, okay? His name, I don't know what I was thinking when I named him
That's a
that, but
nice name.
his name is Legend, and he let me know, we're not doing this today, Mom. I'm like,
That's all
why
right.
not? He's like, yeah, not today. Like,
Not today.
I like this. I
he's
like that.
so he's it's so one of the sisters told me, she was like, you have an intelligent son.
It's a
And
blessing.
just, so I say all of that and I share because having grown men come on who have emotional intelligence, giving me insight and kind of dropping jewels. And I'm at a good critical time where he's 6 and the world is still fresh to him. So I have that opportunity to kind of get in there and really, mold him the
Yeah.
way that he grows up, Lord willing, to be a good man.
We're
like
praying
the
for him.
like the three of you are. I'm pretty sure your parents, if they not proud, I'm proud of you. Okay,
Thank
Thank
you.
I'm
you.
happy
Thank you,
for you.
sister. Hey, that too. That encouragement. Give him that encouragement.
Yes,
Parents,
yes. Thank you,
call
Devin.
out the positive stuff, not just the negative stuff.
Yes.
Call out the positive stuff. And one
Yeah.
more gem,
Yeah.
another exercise you could try, Ev, is let him order your food when y'all go out to eat at the restaurant. Let him order your stuff. Tell him what you want,
That's
and let him
good.
speak to the waiter.
Oh, tell
That's
him what I
good.
want. Okay, I
Beautiful,
can do that. I can tell
beautiful.
him what
That's
I want
good.
and let him
Yes,
know. Okay, I can do
yes.
That's
that.
really
I
Yeah,
good.
can do
'Cause
that.
that
speak
works
up.
on his communication too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
yeah.
confidence
yeah.
as
I
well.
And
let
the,
him
the
order,
encouragement
like,
is
y'all
huge.
probably
Yeah,
frown upon it, but sometimes we go to McDonald's and sometimes we go to Chick-fil-A.
yeah. It is
And
what it is.
Chick-fil-A, okay.
and I'm like, go ahead, tell them. I put them in, I'm like, tell them what you want. And to let him do that. Then he has a
yeah.
wallet, a real wallet with money in
Very
it. And
nice.
Okay.
he
He's
in
official.
school, no,
He
seriously,
legit.
no, seriously. He tells me, oh, I have like $48. He counts
Um,
like
Oh, he
he's
rich.
Yeah.
he's
in King
balling.
World,
Basically,
he really is. He
yeah.
be like,
$48
I'm ready.
is
I
rich.
want to get a new Lego set. I'm like,
Oh
okay.
Lord.
But now
You
the
better start paying
encouragement is so,
taxes.
yeah, that encouragement is so true though, man. Like
Yeah.
I can't even count on my hands how many times my dudes really didn't like really said like,
Mhm.
proud of you, like
Exactly.
certain stuff like that, or like I believe in you, like whatever you want to be, you can go for it. Like, but never am I like, you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
as a young boy, hearing that because that's what he gonna want
Powerful.
from his wife. That's what we want from
Yeah.
our woman. Our woman is there to support and encourage and comfort and all those different type of things. Like it's crazy what a man would do for a woman, like for real. Like, and
Y'all,
you'll
For some
hear it all the
encouragement.
time. Yeah,
let me
you'll
tell
hear it
you,
all the
let me
time,
tell you,
man.
let me add this to that to your point. Like, if I'm at home and my mom and sisters are there, or whoever I'm around that I'm close to, and I get a fresh cut, you ought to notice my fresh cut and tell me my lineup is good. I'm not gonna start this. You gotta tell me first. Like, I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
that. Ever since
yeah,
I was
but
Yeah.
a
like
kid,
stuff like
stuff
that,
like that.
man.
Like, woo,
Encouragement, man.
you
Like,
sharp,
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
means a
exactly.
lot.
That's one part of it though, but it's like you'll be surprised like how far encouragement go for a man.
Yes.
Like
boy. Yeah.
encouragement, comfort, and nurturing. Like so,
Hmm.
every now and then, like I said, your son do something bad, we know you gotta chastise him. But just like he said, a lot of times I noticed that in our community, it's like the old school parents, like they quit to criticize when you do wrong, but they're slow to praise when you do right. And that lack of
Exactly.
balance will destroy your child.
Mhm.
Okay.
Come on,
Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
And destroy your
encourage them.
relationship.
Yeah, destroy
Yeah.
your relationship, man.
long
Like, dang, I
term.
could never do nothing
Exactly.
right.
They don't want to come around. You
Yeah.
wonder why they don't come visit.
Right.
But you know what's so crazy? My son is so expressive, and I'll end on this.
Mm.
When he does, like when I do say something to correct him, I can see it in his demeanor when he goes like inward, like he feels in
Mm.
normal language, he can feel small. And then I have to come back after that and be like, do you know why mommy said this? And I'm talking to him and he's like, okay. And then he gets back his confidence. But in the moment when I'm like, no, blah, 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 you know, I could just see him. Or when I'm like, let's say, for instance, I'm talking to an adult and he's trying to get my attention. And one thing I'm bad at doing is saying, I'm on the phone, and I give him that finger and I see his countenance just get small, and then I have to say, hold on, and I'm like, yes, legend, so he can, and then it boosts back up. So everything y'all saying, I can see it in him even at 6, like, you know, that attentiveness is
so
important.
powerful.
Yeah,
it's an art. It sounds like an art raising a child.
Can y'all hear me still?
yeah, we can hear you. What you say, brother?
I was about to say that's very important because confidence is currency for a man. And always remember that.
Yeah, write that
Ooh,
down.
let me chop that up. What you say now? Confidence is currency.
Confidence is currency.
I felt that in my
Confidence
Honda.
is currency. Because it's
In your
nothing.
Honda?
It's nothing. That's so funny. It's nothing worse. It's nothing. It's like it's not many things in this world like worse than like a timid man or like an unconfident man. Like I'm gonna be real. Like how can you even like you know what I'm saying? Like you'll get tossed around this world, man. You will get
Crushed.
like killed, man, for real. Like
Yeah.
you need that confidence. So as a woman, you know, as the mother, like you do have a very important role. You can continue to boost up his confidence and let him know. And there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. You know what I'm saying? He should be comfortable in his own skin. He should be comfortable making decisions and doing those things. And that starts young. So that's good though. That's why I like that you had said like his confidence go back up and stuff like that. Because confidence is definitely currency for a man, for sure.
Amen. Thank you, brothers. All right, y'all. I
I think I'm
appreciate
gonna make a
y'all.
shirt. I think I'll make a shirt that say confidence
You
is
gotta
currency.
put it on a shirt now. Let me get a
Y'all better
medium.
not take that from the brother. I ain't gonna take it from you.
No,
got
that's
it.
yours. Look, put that on a
I
shirt.
give
Let
a
me
shot. I'm
get
definitely
one.
gonna use it, but I shot you out the first time.
Yeah,
Man, this is the
right.
first time. Look,
You gonna see them with a new reel talking about confidence is currency.
confidence is currency.
Like I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
You gotta watch what you say, man. You gotta watch what you say in
No,
public,
that was
man.
good, brother. You gotta chime that. You gotta do something
That's
with that for
funny, yo.
sure.
Confidence is currency. That's
Y'all, we
hilarious.
had
Yo.
a good turnout tonight. 45 likes on the live.
Wow.
Wonderful. My
Good.
God.
That's crazy.
And it's not even posted yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Right.
crazy.
It's a
So
blessing.
those of you that's watching live, many of you may say, I want to watch the replay. You're gonna have to wait until tomorrow morning because I want to go back and edit the beginning. I was all over the place, but this was beautiful, brothers. They said this lineup was dope. They were like, it's good. Hey, Tanya Bond, girl, where you been? Was you in the background this whole time, girl? Hey, girl, love you, girl. But y'all, thank y'all so much for joining, and until next time, brothers, we'll say peace be and good night.
Peace. Pleasure.
Bless you.
Good night.
Bless you.